What's up, everybody? How's everyone doing today? I'm your host, Mr. Pibbs, and this is your co-host Xander on another show of This and That, Everything in Between. And today we're going to be talking about Kamala Harris. Does she have any chances of winning this election against Trump? So when I initially looked into her, uh, I didn't expect much. I thought she would probably have little achievements, and they just throw her in there because, well, that's all they have left in the Democratic Party. But after looking into it, I come to realize that that is not the case. She has actually made some good achievements throughout her years, both in the office as a Senate and back when she was a Attorney General. Now, one of her achievements was she was the first U.S. president or vice president to visit a Planned Parenthood site. So, for those that don't know what a Parenthood site is, it's a health center that's that's throughout the Southwest and the Central of Florida, and they basically deal with helping people do abortion, and that's one of her big movement campaigns. They help people that are low income or race or color, help them out, making sure that they can have a safe abortion.
Oh
Or
wow! I did not think we were talking about that.
we
That's
wanted to.
horrible. That's horrible.
She's backing it, so that's one
I'm
of
not
her.
backing that.
Why not?
No.
There's one thing that's wrong with that.
No. So there's feedback on your side. Do you have like other stuff going on over there?
It's probably the paper that I'm flicking through side to side.
No, I can hear myself talking.
I don't know where that came from, but okay. You can hear
Yeah.
yourself.
So yeah, I can hear myself talking.
No, you mean like an echo?
Yeah, and I sound very disgruntled, and I don't blame myself because no.
Hold on, let me see if I can change that. Let me go to my settings and see if I can audio. Well, I got echo cancellation on.
Yeah, I turned on your echo cancellation because your echo cancellation wasn't on, and I had to turn on your noise reduction because you had a lot of feedback when you were stretching. It sounded like every joint and ligament in your unactive body was breaking. Mr. Go to the gym on a regular basis.
Ow, I'm so hurt.
What's going on with it? You should be hurt.
All right, so do you still hear the echo?
Not right now.
Okay. Now back to this. So what's wrong with standing by abortion?
No, I'm not standing by abortion. You got to remember, first of all, when you start talking about abortion, you start talking about the only person that matters in the abortion is whether or not the woman wants the child. Has nothing to do with whether or not the man wants the child. So if the man doesn't have a say in the situation, it's like let nature take its course as opposed to giving it to somebody. Like, because if a dude wants a child and he gets with this chick because he wants a child, and she decides that she doesn't want the child, she can get rid of the child. He doesn't have a say in it. It's her body. She can do whatever she wants. Now, if a dude doesn't want the dude can sign off the rights to the. If she wants a child and he doesn't want the child gets born. He has to pay child support for it, or he has to sign away all of his rights to the child and hope that she doesn't come after him for child support. But there are women who want children for the sole purpose of putting the guy on child support, whereas there are women that don't want children but they still would date a man that they know wants children. So the man doesn't have a say in whether or not the child is born. So I feel like if you end up pregnant because you wasn't doing the necessary steps to not get pregnant, then you should kind of just like not have a choice in whether or not that child lives or dies. And you should just take care of the kid to the best of your ability, the same way I don't have a choice in whether or not the child lives or dies if you get an abortion. Because it's not like if I say I don't want it, that you're going to get rid of it if you want it. That's not how that works. If I don't want it and you want it, you're gonna have it and I'm gonna pay child support. But if I want it and you don't want it, you get rid of it and I never have a kid. So I'm like, no, I'm uniform. If I don't have a say in whether or not the child is born, you shouldn't have a say either. So if you get pregnant and it happens and you don't have a miscarriage, then boom, we got a kid. It's kind of how that works. Unplanned pregnancy.
Well, Kamala Harris is for it, and she talks about the troubles of not having the consequences of not having that um, after the Roe versus Wade overturn. So she's been very
That they have on that is that you give birth to a child you couldn't afford to pay for. Now your standard of living is even worse than what it was before because you got extra mouths to feed, diapers, clothes, all this other stuff. And with Project 2025 not providing you with any government assistance, you're going to have an even harder way to go to take care of that kid. And some people believe that instead of having a child live a life of suffering, to not let the child live at all. But the greatest potentials in this world have come from hard knock lives where children have survived the hardest parts of this country. And it makes absolutely no sense that you're going to stop an opportunity of success because you don't want them to go through your struggle. Some of us would not be alive today if our parents felt the same way. So I don't, and some of us that are successful now, where it might have took our whole life to get successful. Some of us that are successful now in making massive changes in this country would not be alive today to make those massive changes in this country if our parents made those same choices. And think about especially the minority people who have had 500 years of it's not a good time. And then another 200 years of it's probably still not a good time since we're being hung from trees like Christmas ornaments. So at the same time, you know, just think, oh, I'm not going to do that because it's better to the child not to live in misery than it is for the child to grow strong through suffrage and be. I don't agree with that. I feel like every opportunity is an opportunity if you take advantage of that opportunity, and every failed attempt is a failed attempt that you quit at before you took a chance at it. So every breath counts, in my opinion. So I would be a person that's not. I'm not.
I would be on the fence. I don't
Issue,
really, we don't.
if it's a health issue with the mom and I have to choose between the child and the mother, and no man wants to have to make that choice, they're depending on the situation. I might choose the mother, but also if the mom says choose a child, then I'm going to choose a child because the mother said choose a child. But those parents that choose the child over the mother sometimes holds resentment towards the child, not all the time. So the child has an even harder way to go. But if they're able to embrace that child in spite of the loss of the mother, then they grow up and have a very strong bond between one another. But only when the child's survival is less than the mother's survival, and the mother's survival requires the abortion, is it acceptable in my expectation to go out there and have one? Because these women that are having an abortion every 3 months because they're throwing it around like it's candy, and they have no regard for human life. It's like, ma'am, if you don't want to get pregnant, stop having sex. That's how you solve your problem. Getting an abortion doesn't solve your problem. Maybe if you give birth to a child and stop having sex until you're ready to settle down with a man that you want to give yourself to, and permanently, when you get to that mindset, then you can start getting out there sleeping with folks. But just dropping babies all over the place or refusing to drop babies and getting abortions all over the place, I'm against that because it allows people to be irresponsible. And that does not change the fact that there are people that are in tough situations where they were forced into something that they didn't want to be in. They got pregnant as a result. They may want to get rid of the child because they don't want to live with the memory. Those are circumstantial situations that might make sense because their psychological position might not be in the best interest of a child that would have gotten born in that situation. But selectively, those would be probably the only ones that I would say, you know what? Yeah, I wouldn't object to that. But the average everyday person that's out there dancing in Ybor City, getting pregnant at night, going to church in the morning, dancing in the choir, and then going down to the abortion clinic, like, no. That's all I have to say about that.
So, for me, for abortion, it's like I'm on the fence because,
You're on the fence about everything. You have always been on the fence about everything.
yeah, like Kamala Harris, for if she, the
Like,
people
like
asking,
no, that's bad,
so,
bro. Do you really? Do you?
because I like being on the fence because I hear so many like different scenarios or stories that one time one person tell me, let's say that this lady was pregnant, had
I'm gonna
Satan's
give you a
baby, has
challenge.
hold on, has Satan's baby in there, and
So
the only way you could prevent him from coming is like if you do the abortion. I'm like,
okay, hold on, hold on. I object. I object. I object because first of all, Satan's baby was in the Omen 1 and 2, and I think 3. And second of all, while that child was famous, I also want to remind you that all of us have demon children. Take the $5,000 worth of Fortnite money that the child took from the mama. And that wasn't even a minority child. Like, these
okay, there's a
children
difference
are just
between the Omen
demons.
baby and the Fortnite baby because
No, it's not.
how many
Because
times
you would
has the Omen baby killed? As
none.
even in it, a lot.
None. He never put his
He
hands
did a
on
lot of
anybody. It was
murder.
just circumstantial. It was circumstantial situations like for Final Destination. The child never pushed anybody off of a building or set anybody on fire or hung
What about
anybody from a
the
chandelier.
bicycle scene?
Just because a woman fell off the balcony and the balcony broke because she was overweight.
He used his bike to walk past it. And secondly, did he kill his brother? Well, like his stepbrother. Um,
Uh,
in the second movie, he said either join me or die, and he chose death. And then he killed him by, I think he gave him an aneurysm or something with using his supernatural powers.
oh, so he looked at him really hard. Okay, okay, you're not making sense. You're not
That's
making sense.
the scene may not make sense. He said join me or die, and then he said that he chose death, and he just gave him a quick death story, and he's holding his head, and then dies.
So if I look at you hard enough and you die, then now all of a sudden I'm a bad person.
Probably yes.
No, no, because in that if that were a true
Police are reason to
statement, then
do that
every woman
because
that
he was
gives us
looking
a
at me the wrong way, so I shot him 16 times.
that's what police
I was
say.
fighting for my life.
That's
So
what that's what the police say.
if the police says that uh us looking and giving them the death stare can cause them instant death, then more likely it's probably a crime.
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous on multiple levels. That is super. That is super. That is beyond ridiculous. Because those police officers should not have badges, and anyone who believes that okay, so I'm not going to weigh in either way as far as the supernatural is concerned. But what I am going to say is that it makes absolutely no sense to lean on the fact that because a child may or may not have done something that child is well, no, because he looked at somebody and something bad happened as a result, that child is a demon child, and that child is worth an abortion. And then you got to think about the fact that the problem that we're talking about here is when you're using the baby of the devil as an excuse for the abortion. The child hasn't been born yet. You're not
I
talking
didn't make that as
about
an
the
excuse. Someone told me that, and I'm like,
no, but I'm telling you that that is the excuse that's being used. And while that is the excuse that's being used, you have to understand that the child that has not been born yet. So Norman Bates's child of the devil, allegedly, right? Now, how do you know that child is going to grow up like his father? Lorena Bobbitt, how do you know that child is going to grow up like his mother? You don't. Until it does, until it's already been born and it starts having the same behavioral traits. Now, how are you going to abort a 5-year-old child? You're not. So that it really, when you think about this scenario in its entirety,
wait, abort
uh,
a 5-year-old child, like I can't really abort it. So.
Exactly. So the fact is the
Xander?
fact is that yeah, I'm trying to load. I'm saying that when you're looking at this from a rational perspective, you're looking at this from the child itself cannot do wrong until after it has been born. So it cannot be judged negatively until after it does something negative, which is equivalent to Goku's perspective on why don't they go into the past and eliminate Dr. Gero before he creates the androids in Dragon Ball Saga. No, you couldn't hear me? All right, hold on a second. Let me see. Let me shut this one
I
down
heard that
because
heard
it
about the
seems like
Dragon Ball Saga to kill Dr. Gero. After that, then you
is it,
started phasing out.
oh that's because it's uploading. I need to shut that one thing down so that I can have processors on this computer process all of these streams, too many streams at the same time. Got to get me a new computer. Well, got to get me a computer with more processors. Let's see, close. Yes, let's close that out. All right, and then close that out. Is that better?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, you're a lot more
All
clear
right,
now.
good. So what I was saying was that when you say that a child that is supposed to be someone of the devil, the problem is that the parents of the child don't define the child until the child is born and starts doing negative actions. The child cannot be held accountable for the acts that it hasn't done yet. So you can't claim that, or you shouldn't claim that. Well, it's okay to abort the child if the child is a spawn of the devil. That's the child's actions have not been yet determined. Um, and that's why I was using the reference of the Goku's perspective of, well, you can't go back into the past and eliminate Dr. Gero as an infant because he hasn't done anything wrong yet. He's not considered a bad guy until he's actually done something wrong. That plays into that particular metaphor that uh, eliminating a life before it has an opportunity to perform uh, under the pretenses that that life will be a negative life is a misconception because you don't know until it happens. But after the life becomes a life, you're not able to take that life. So that's why I'm like that makes no sense. But I'll let you go ahead and finish explaining to me why you're on the fence about yet another topic, and then I've got a challenge for you, because I really think that this is good growth for you.
Okay, so why I'm on the fence with it because one, it doesn't really matter to me. Two, when people tell me these stupid, ridiculous stories, I like to contradict them. So back to the if Satan was the child, like planted his seed inside a woman, and the only way to stop it from releasing evil upon the world is by getting abortion. I would say, but what about nature versus nurture? And I'd be like, what the heck you mean nature versus nurture? Nature versus nurture.
Well,
Is it in its
you're
state? Is it in the child's
you're
nature?
arguing against you're just arguing against the opinion of the person just for the sake of arguing, though. But
Yeah.
just imagine if
But
that was if you were the person that was the father, what would your position be on that?
I'll just let it see what if it does pertain to me, then I'll say, oh, then let it happen.
So if
Let's
she
spin that
decides
way.
that she wants to get an abortion, you're just going to be like, okay, whatever.
No, if she said, if you, I thought you were talking about the Satan thing. Are you moving or
It,
you?
it
Are you?
it's all the same. It's all the same. So regardless of whether or not she believes that the child is a spawn of the devil,
If
she
she
thinks that you're
keeps
the
it,
devil,
then
she wants
it's
to have an
like
abortion.
like you said, it's her choice because I can't really force her to say get an abortion or keep the
That's not what I
child.
said. If she doesn't want to keep it, but
Doesn't
you
want to keep
the
it,
yeah.
then we'll talk it out. And if there's no reason, and she's still adamant about keeping it, doesn't want to keep it, then I cannot stop her. It's still her
So
body.
you're just not you just don't care about anything.
I mean, not really. Like I thought we got to. I'm not a nice. I want to point out that I'm never said I was a nice person or.
Well, that's not being nice. That's being an idiot
Yeah,
because you don't even
uh,
care about yourself. Because you don't care about your own interests. What is your interest in your legacy? Because
if
that
it comes
determines
down
whether or
to
not that
no,
determines whether or not you're for or against something is because of how it impacts you. And I put you in a situation and you're like, fuck it, whatever. It negatively impacts you if you want the
yeah,
child. It doesn't
negative.
bother
I didn't
you. And
say it
if
didn't.
you didn't want the child and she wants the child, it negatively impacts you. So how do you in the scenario feel about not having a choice in something that will drastically change your life?
Simple. I just take it as it is because there's a lot of things that we don't have a choice in doing, but we still have to do it. This is how it is. If she wants to keep the child, then I have to figure out how to work things out with her. And if she becomes unreasonable about it, then I have to
So
learn how
is
to.
there something to reason? Are you from like because that's not it's avoiding
I'm not
the
avoiding
because you're
anything. I said I will take it
well
as it
yeah
is.
if you don't believe that you're avoiding anything, but okay, so whatever she decides, it doesn't matter. You're not going to be pissed off. This isn't going to bother you at all. You're not going to have a concern in the world. If she gets pregnant and she keeps it, it's good. You'll take care of it. But if she decides to have an abortion, it's good. It doesn't matter.
You're getting
Like that's
super
the behavior
emotional
that
about okay,
you have right
okay.
now.
So all right. So you want me to get super angry on a choice that I made? I chose to sleep with this woman.
Okay? Do you want a legacy? Yes or no?
No,
Okay. So what if she wants to force you to have a legacy?
like just have a kid and
Yeah. Yeah.
down
What if she
to baby.
deliberately gets pregnant? Huh?
If she deliver like literally get like after and like we did the nasty
She
deed and
knows she knows you
she
don't want a kid, but she deliberately gets pregnant for you.
gets pregnant for me, then
Yes.
I have to take it. And
No, that's not it.
it,
That we're not talking about responsibility. We're talking about your position on that.
I would be upset that she didn't really truly confide with me about or respecting my decision of not
Now,
having
you
a
have
legacy.
two choices in that particular situation while you're pissed off. You have the right to sign away your rights as a parent where you don't have any financial responsibility, or you can obtain that financial responsibility even though you didn't want to have a child. Which one would you choose?
Attain that responsibility
Why?
because even
You
though I
don't want the
don't
kid. Why?
even though that the kid was a mistake, it's still
So
my
it wasn't a
child.
mistake. It was deliberate. She deliberately got this kid. There's no mistake there.
No, because it's a mistake because I didn't want the kid.
It's not a mistake. It's
It's
not
not
your
like
mistake.
it's maybe it's not like she drugged me. She
Hold on, hold on.
she
Let me explain to you how women deliberately get pregnant. They will take the condom out of the trash and inseminate themselves to get pregnant.
Oh,
There are
so
women
you're
that
saying
will.
that if
There
I
are women
didn't
that
do
will.
the hot sauce trick,
I'm saying that there are some females that will deliberately get themselves pregnant with athletes and other professional and famous people so that they can get pregnant for those people so that they can put those people on child support. Not all women are like this, but there are women out there that do this. And you're saying that if you got stuck with a woman that you had an affair with for whatever reason, and then she comes back deliberately bringing you a child after you told her you didn't want one, you're saying, oh well, whatever. Yeah, I'd be a little bit ticked off about it, but whatever. I'll just cut her a check. I'll just cut her one of those $135,000 Donald Trump checks.
it is what it is.
No, no, no. That's stupid.
because
That's stupid, bro.
okay,
That's stupid.
okay, so
Cause
exactly what you want me to do to her. So
what
like
do you mean? What do I want you to do to her? It's not what I
like
want. This is
let's
this
say I
is
was
your
angry,
position.
I was mad. What exactly did you want me to do?
What do you mean? What
Yell
did
at her
I
for
want you
like
to do?
6, 7
No, I'm
hours,
I'm sitting
tell
over
her
here
how
looking at the fact
she
that
take away
you
my opportunity, my
you,
life.
you don't even you're not sure this really explains why you're on the fence about everything, because you could care less about how life impacts you. You just will accept everything as it is and just keep moving. The average man is going to be, if a man wants a child and a woman is going to get pregnant and then get rid of the child without his consent, he's going to be pissed off at that situation, and more often than not he's not going to have anything else to do with her because he wanted a family. She knew that, and he took that family away from her. A rational man is that didn't want a child, that ends up having his chick bringing him a child after they've had a long conversation about him not having a child, and he's doing everything he can outside of a vasectomy to not have a child, because he might not want one now, but he might be okay with having one later on after they become financially stable. She decides she wants one right now, and she makes it a point. She's taking fertility pills and all this other stuff so that she can get pregnant right now. And then she ends up pregnant right now. She comes and tells you that she's pregnant, like you're supposed to be okay with that, when you told her that you wasn't okay with that. And she wants to have the kid, and you don't want her to have the kid. There are men like that would prefer that she would get that abortion, and she doesn't want to get that abortion, but she wants to stick him on child support. There are women where the man gave her the money to go get the abortion. She took the money, she spent the money, she still gave birth to the child, and now she wants to put him on child support, where he's already paid to terminate the child. Now he's going to be stuck with the financial responsibility for 18 years, and he's like, no, I'm not doing that. At best, I'll sign away the rights so that I'm not responsible for the child, so I don't have to pay for the child. At worst, you're going to have to find another way to stick me with this because I paid for the abortion and we agreed to the abortion, and I didn't want the child. So in all of those scenarios, you're sitting over here looking like a man still does not have a choice. In this exact same conversation, the man still does not have a choice, and you're just accepting the fact that you don't have a choice and somebody else is allowed to make decisions for you, and you just have to deal with that. But when we flip the script and the role is on the opposite side, the woman must have a choice because it's her body. But how is it not? How is it fair that only one person can have a choice in a situation, and the other person, depending on the choice, is going to be stuck with the financial responsibility of the choices being made?
Okay, so let me go ahead and let me reflip this one. So different scenario from a woman's perspective. All right, let's say early 2000, because this was a real major problem in the early 2000s. Uh, girl was 15, 16. She was getting straight A's. She didn't do anything truly stupid in her into her life till this one incident where she got with a guy. She didn't want kids, and he didn't want kids, but they did an STD without proper protection. And when she came to approach him and say she's pregnant, and he acts like he doesn't know her, and she has to go and tell her parents that she got pregnant, and the guy doesn't want to take responsibility of getting her pregnant, and she and their parent and let's say their parents are furious with her and they want to kick her out of the house, or like send her to her grandma because her life is ruined because she has to take care of the kid. Now, do you think that's fair, where she doesn't get no support from her the guy that got her pregnant, nor does she get not going to get any support from her family? Does that sound like that's fair too? And
Well,
so
first
her
of all,
family
you never
like,
answered my question. I asked you a question, and then you decided to give me a
yeah, I
new
answered
scenario.
it. I said I would take
No,
it
you
as
didn't.
it is.
No, you didn't.
What was
I
the
asked
question?
you a question. I said, why is that fair that only one person has a choice in this situation, and the other person has to take on the financial obligation of the choices being made without having a choice in that situation? That's what I asked you. And you said, let me give you another scenario. Let me flip the script
Because
and give you another
they
scenario.
already made the first choice of trying to interact with that person and not properly
No, you
thoroughly
don't. You don't have it. So you don't have a choice in the outcome, but you made the choice to get involved with this girl, and because you made the choice to get involved with this girl, you have no choice in the outcome of whether or not she gets pregnant. I mean, whether or not she keeps the child, and you have to pay for it, or she doesn't keep the child and you don't get the child that you wanted.
Yes, because well, in the beginning of our show of this channel, then we talked about vetting females. making
That
sure
doesn't.
that
That
we
makes
know.
no sense. That makes absolutely no
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, I'll explain. You want me to answer your question? I'll answer your question. Because in the beginning of the show, did we talked about vetting females, making sure we when we do these things, do the nasty deed, and making sure that they don't underhand us, don't make
That
us.
doesn't justify this situation.
Let me finish. Let me finish. I'll
You asked me a question. You
I'm
said,
not
"Didn't
saying
we
it's
do
gonna
this?"
be. That's what I'm telling you what it is. Because when you chose to associate yourself with that female, you didn't. And you when you did the deed, whether you wanted the kid or not the kid, uh, you kind of gave up your choice get to figure out what was to be agreed on. You
Okay,
agreed
so
on not have.
uniformism requires that if he
Now,
gave up
if
the
the
choice
girl
as to
did
what
some
happens with the child,
underhanded,
she should give up the choice, the equal choice of what happens with the child.
yeah,
And if the child is
not,
born, the child is born. And if the child doesn't make it, the child doesn't make it. But she should not be the only person deciding upon whether or not an abortion should occur, because he has the same quantity of rights as she has with that particular situation as to whether or not the child exists, because that's uniformism. So when you start talking, you're trying to utilize first person accountability as an excuse to give only one person the right to make decisions
I'm
on
not
the
giving
outcome that
no
affects
one
two
that.
people. And that's what I'm telling you. Like that doesn't that first person accountability that you chose the wrong person, that's not going to justify the fact that you don't have a choice in whether or not the child is born, because your ability to make a mistake and pick the wrong person, and that person doesn't have the same views as you. One of you wants a child and the other one doesn't. That does not just you don't surrender your right to decide whether or not you want to be a parent because the other person has the opposite opinion. That's what I'm saying. And I'm saying that natural selection should overrule everybody's decision. And if the child makes it, the child makes it. If the child doesn't make it, the child doesn't make it. But willfully paying for an abortion to terminate a child that could have made it, I don't think is a good idea, because of the fact that no one person out of the two of you should determine that your opinion overrules the other person's opinion, and the child doesn't live because one of you said so and the other one disagrees. Out of a two-party scenario, you should not have one person with more authority than the other person to overrule them in whether or not the child's life is there. Because if you're going to say that the woman has more rights because it's her body, and then why is it that the man doesn't have any right in that situation when it's going to be his financial responsibility if she has it? And likewise, you say that a man should not dictate what happens with the woman's body, so a man can't tell her to have the child if she doesn't want to have the child, and the man shouldn't tell her to abort the child if she doesn't want to have the child. So if he can't tell her what to do with the child, she shouldn't be allowed to do whatever she wants to do with the child, because the child belongs to the both of them equally. Now, in the situation that they both agree that neither one of them want the child, then I mean they're both heading in the same direction. That's fine. But when there's a difference of opinion, why is one person's opinion worth more than another person's opinion? That's not uniform, and I'm not going to agree to that. So, to answer your question that you asked me, is that fair? Yes, it is, because she is grown enough to get out there and do the nasty with somebody irresponsibly and get pregnant, and she does not require assistance from her parents because they didn't make the mistake she did. They should not be taking care of her and the child. That is not their responsibility. That's her responsibility, and the guy that she slept with's responsibility. And yes, they need to figure that out. And no, they should not get an escape to go out there and go have an abortion because she didn't have enough money to take care of the child. She needs to get off of behind, go get a job, try to figure the shit out, and try to take care of the damn child, because it makes absolutely no sense why you can lay on your back and get pregnant, but you can't stand on your feet and take care of the mistake that you made. Uniformly. My position is always going to be uniform. So I always have a position, and my position is always going to be, if it's not balanced, it needs to be balanced. And because it's not balanced and it's accepted imbalance, then I'm going to say that I don't agree to the imbalance. And that's always my position. I do not agree to the imbalance. I would prefer that as a man, I be held on the same plateau, the same platform as another person, be it male or female, in the same scenario. So since they want to be treated equally, women want to be treated equally. Uniformism is the closest thing to equality, because regardless of the gender, when your shoe is on the same feet, when you're in the same role, you're going to have the same responsibilities and privileges that I would if I was in that role. So if I have the ability to make that choice, you have the ability to make that choice. I don't have the ability to make that choice. You don't have the ability to make that choice. That's uniformism. Does that make sense? So for you to come from a position of It is what it is. I don't have a say. I just got to do I have to accept what is done to me by whoever does it to me because I made the conscious choice to get involved in a situation. That's irresponsible because you're not taking accountability for anything that happens in your life. Your first person accountability that you're talking about, we talked about on the show, is that you are responsible for your actions and decisions, and you are responsible for the actions and decisions of the people around you. So you are supposed to, first of all, make sure that all of the decisions that are made around you that can impact you, be it positively or negatively, that you make decisions that prevent those people from negatively impacting your scenario, regardless of what your scenario is. And then first person accountability is that you make decisions that will positively impact your scenario. And ultimately, third scenario with first person accountability is that your actions will directly impact somebody else's scenario. So you make sure that you do not make the wrong decision that will negatively impact somebody else's scenario. And all three of those apply in this particular example. After you finish buffering, you can go ahead and continue.
Okay, so thank you for that long-winded, all around.
It wasn't long enough.
Yeah, I
It
know
was
it
straight to the
wasn't long
point.
enough.
It was straight to the point. I was straight to the point. I had to touch on 8 different points at one time, so it wasn't as long as it should have been.
Yeah. Well, that's what your side is, and that.
No, that's uniformism. That's not my side. That's an entire philosophical concept.
No, you say you will not accept anything that doesn't seem right or unfair.
I did not say that. I said that if it is no, I did not. I did not say that I would not accept something that's not right or unfair. I said that I do not accept imbalance, meaning that one side gets more favoritism to the other. No, no, no. That is not unfair. That is the lack of the closest thing to equality. That has nothing to do with being unfair, because whether or not somebody else has more control over your life than you do is a lack of balance. It doesn't mean that it's fair or unfair. When you're a minor, when you're a child, you do not have the same rights as an adult. That doesn't mean that it's not fair. It just means that you do not have as much control over your life as you would like. But that adult is responsible for everything that you do. That is balance. So while you don't have as much control, if you do something stupid, your parents are supposed to compensate for that. Break a window, steal something, destroy somebody else's stuff, injure somebody else's child. The parent that has control over you, that has authority over you, has to pay for your mistakes to a degree. But when you start making adult decisions, those parents release you into the world the same way the justice system tries you as an adult. So there are some things that are children level that the parents will take responsibility for, and there are some things that are adult level that the parents say, go be an adult. I'm not dealing with that. And at the end of the day, that is still balance. So I'm not saying, oh, it's not fair because I don't have a say. I'm saying that it's not balanced in an egalitarian society that is expecting to be equality towards men and women at the same time. I am saying that it is imbalanced, and that imbalance is what I disagree with, not whether or not it's fair.
Okay, so back to the topic at hand. Another achievement that she did, she helped negotiate the release of 3 Americans wrongfully detained in Russia. So those two.
Oh, she full of shit.
What do you mean?
There's hundreds of thousands of wrongfully imprisoned Americans in America. Oh, you went got 3 out of Russia?
Hey, well, technically got 24, but she helped get.
24. That's like Oprah building 3 nations in Africa, and you still have like 15% of the homeless population in America, but ain't nobody doing nothing about that. You can build houses in a third world country, but you can't build houses in the United States. I do not promote anybody doing something in a third world country that you should do in your own country. Charity starts at home. You take care of your neighborhood before you take care of somebody else's.
Well, they kind of took your toy, and you got to go get it back. So,
what are you talking about?
Like, these three Americans, two were journalists, and one was a U.S. veteran.
That's not my toys.
Huh?
That's not my toys.
It's a metaphor. So, like, if you like,
no, my toys are the tanks that they took. My toys are the jets that they took. My toys are the nukes that they took.
So the people that stuck over there,
those people are not my toys. Those are people that chose to be over there. My toys are the equipment that I set over there. That's my toys. The grenades, the AR-15s, the M4s, the M16s, the sniper rifles. That's my toys. The people that went over there carrying my toys, those are not my toys. Those people are paid to be over there, so they're doing the job, and they get hazard pay, and they get that hazard pay if they return. It's part of the job.
That's so messed up. All right.
No, it's not messed up. No, it's not messed up. Because first person accountability is that if you go over there, you're over there, bro. If you come back, you'll make a lot of money. If you come back. But if you ever given a job that says if you come back, implying that you might not make it back, that you will get paid a decent quantity of change, then you might want to ask yourself, do I really want to go out there because my life is valued at this much money if I return? It's like a 007 mission.
Well, then they will probably more likely do it again because if she tells them to, because she helped them get them back. So
what?
Yeah, she helped them get
Hell
back.
no, I ain't going out there. I ain't going out there the first time for me to say, oh, I'm gonna get out there. I'm gonna go to another country, get taken hostage, and then this woman's gonna come get me out. And not just because it's a woman, because Obama went over there and got some people and brought her back too. That man came and got me. What, dude? Once I get back, if I was dumb enough to go out there the first time, I don't care if Obama came and got me. I don't care if Kamala came and got me. I don't care if Trump came and got me. If I went out there like a dumbass thinking this was gonna be an open and shut situation, and I got out there and I got taken captive, and the stuff they doing to me is worse than what they're doing to Americans in Guantanamo Bay, and then when you get me back, you like, oh, well, if you come back, then you'll go back out there again. No, the fuck I won't. That's it. My career is over, bro. My career is over. As soon as I get released, bro, I'm gonna be a bag carrier at a Publix after that shit. I'm not going back out there. I'm gonna be a stock boy. I'm gonna be a cart pusher at a Walmart or some shit. Like, fuck all that. Think I'm gonna go back out there so I can take a hostage again. So that when I get out there, because you know what they do, right? They get you released, and then they give you another mission in the same fucking place. So then you go back out there, and then they gotta grab your ass again. Fuck you, me, bro. They already know what my face looks like. I'm not going. No. That's what they call burn unit. Like, bro, once they catch you, bro, that's it. That's it. You might as well sock my toe. You not. No. I'm not doing that.
Okay. Well, back to she say get three people back into America. That may not be a lot to people, to you guys. But that's
you saying that she got 3 out of 24. So what happened to the other 21?
No, 24 people came back. She took part in helping 3 of those people to come back.
Oh, okay. So 21 of them got released.
Brittany Griner, that WNBA. Oh yeah, I forgot. You don't really watch news that much. So Brittany Griner.
What did she do?
I think it was she brought weed into
against the country's laws. Against the country's laws.
She broke one of the country's laws, and she helped get her back.
Okay, so I don't feel good about that. I don't feel good about that. So what you're telling me is that because Americans went to another country, ignorant as fuck, without knowing the laws in that other country, broke laws in that country, got in prison for it, and then had the U.S. government come and get them because they ain't know no better. Because they were too stupid to know what the fucking laws were before they went out there. So I'm trying to figure out why the fuck would I be proud of a woman going to another country, allowing our American people to make us look bad, where when somebody does something stupid, they can coin the term, oh, that's an American. Why the fuck would I be going out there saying, oh, she's great because she went over there and forced another country to violate their own laws to let go somebody who should have been doing time in prison over there for drug laws that they enforced. Now, if that little bitch would have been in the United States with that same fucking bag of weed with no motherfucking marijuana card, her dumbass would have been doing 5 to 10, at least on probation, if not in fucking prison. So why the fuck you gonna get her off her charge in goddamn Russia? Sit in the damn jail selling rock because your stupid ass shouldn't have got on the plane with the fucking weed, and your stupid ass shouldn't have been smoking the weed in the motherfucking hotel room. What happened to Snoop? Snoop went to goddamn prison twice. He found out that he ain't supposed to go to no now country with no weed. He learned that the hard way, and he rich. He went out there with that look L Beats. We got him. Every time you say something, L Beats, I'm throwing it up there. Snoop went to another country. He found out that it was so illegal you couldn't smell like weed, bro. He got arrested on the plane, bro. He left. He came back on another tour, bro. And as soon as he got back, because he had failed the drug test the last time they were there, he had to go do his time in jail. Now, did Kamala, Biden, Trump, Obama go get Snoop out of motherfucking jail? No. But this little bitch here, because she ain't want to do no time, they go get her. Nah, they should have left her ass over there. That was a waste of American tax dollars to fly that motherfucker out there to go get the other motherfucker back. I'm not going to say that that's no accomplishment. Now, if they would have kidnapped the bitch out the hotel where all she was doing was practicing for the game, and they kidnapped her out the hotel, and she was a soldier of fortune or some shit, where she was fighting for our country or some shit, or she was out there trying to rescue some orphans or some shit, and they had snatched her up like you just fell into North Korea and they took you hostage, then yeah, go get them back. But she broke a law, and you're saying, oh, she got 24 people who probably all broke laws out of the Russian legal system. Now, what do you think that's going to do for the rest of us Americans, passport bros and all, that decide that they want to go and tour Russia? It's going to make it harder for your ass to go to Russia because Russians already know Americans don't follow Russian laws, which means Russians are going to be talking to you like shit because they're going to figure that you're ignorant as fuck and you don't know how to respect their laws when you can read the law when they produce it to you in English. That is not, I'm not going to promote her doing that as a good thing. If it would have been wrongfully imprisoned, then I would say, oh, she did a great job. But that was a rightful, justifiable incarceration because in America, that same crime would have been in jail. So why is she not in jail? Why is she? Matter of fact, if they took her out of jail in Russia, extradited her to the United States, and then put her in jail in the United States, I would at least be less disappointed in this situation. Now, LB says it's impossible to get every lawbreaker back, but I think the administration was forced on the folks that were wrongfully imprisoned. That depends, because your homeboy that was out there defacing the president's poster in Korea got imprisoned until his ass got released. But in their country, it's against the law. It's against the law to talk bad about their leadership. So when the boy defaced the poster of their leadership, you broke a law. That was an act of treason, and they put you in a federal prison and treated you like shit because that's what their law says will happen to you. Now, in their country, you might have got put to death, but because you're an American, they're not going to put you to death because that might start a war. But the fact of the matter is that if you're not acting the way you're supposed to act, our responsibility as Americans, being claimed to be the greatest country in the world, claiming to be the smartest and the brightest and the best of the best, we have the responsibility of reading the laws of the country before we go to that country. And we have the ability to be able to take the time to, we don't need to know every law. We just need to go look up and see what laws do they have for the actions we plan on doing while we're out there. So if, like me, myself, I'm a Second Amendment gun carrier. If I want to go to Russia with my firearm, I have to read up on their laws about my firearm. I have to read how I have to register it. I have to read where to take it when I go there. I have to check it in when I get there. I have to follow their rules while I'm there. So if I decide that I want to bring my animals with me, I have to read their laws about animals. I might have certain rights in America to walk my dogs a certain way in America, but I don't have those same rights in Russia just because I'm an American citizen, because their laws in Russia overrule my being an American citizen, because American laws apply in America, not in Russia. So I'm supposed to know what rules they have. If they say tie your dog up in a tree outside until you come outside in the morning, that's what the fuck I got to do. If they tell me that I got to give my guns to the police as soon as I get off the plane, then I got to give my guns to the police as soon as I get off the plane. If they say you cannot bring weed into this country, you cannot bring weed into this country. And if you can't bring weed into this country, you can't buy weed in this country. So if you're caught with weed in this country, you're going to go to jail. Now, you know that before you get on the plane and go over there. Ain't no such thing as wrongfully in prison if you got caught with drugs and your ass wasn't supposed to have them. You feel me? So L Beat says we need to respect the laws of the countries we visit. He is definitely right. Now, when she started talking about the 24 people that she brought, 23 people that came back, or 21 people that came back, and the 3 extras that she had to go get. You got to remember, when we start talking about wrongful imprisonment, we got American police that will kick your door in and take you to jail with a no-knock, no warrant situation because they were after your family member that you didn't know had a warrant out for their arrest, and they're not even trying to serve the warrant. They're just breaking into your house without the warrant, and then if you get in the way of that, they take you to jail. And that's wrongful arrest. But you're going to catch a felony for that shit. Aiding and abetting a fugitive. Not knowing that the motherfucker's a fugitive. You knew he was out on bail. You didn't know that he violated his bail. He at your house playing Xbox, not telling you that he missed his court date. You going to jail with him. Now, in America, they not going to show you no mercy in America. You going through the legal system. They'll put you on probation. You got to pay fines. They done beat your ass, maced you, put you in cuffs, hit you a couple extra times after that. Now you got black eyes and bloody noses and you sitting in a bookie system and you ain't do shit. Now you go to another country, you're trying to help your homie hide the weed because you know y'all not supposed to have it. They catch y'all. It's in somebody's bag. All y'all going to jail. There's no wrongful arrest there. Wrongful arrest, wrongful imprisonment is if you didn't do anything wrong and they put your ass in jail. We just think that you should not have gone to jail because you're a foreigner and you're not expected to know any better because you don't belong in that country. Well, fucker, if you don't belong in that country, why the fuck did you go? First person accountability. That's what I'm saying. So I can't give her props for that neither. So I got 2 reasons why I don't think that she doing nothing special. She ain't doing nothing special. She's supporting an imbalanced decision-making process, and she's supporting favoritism towards American people in other countries where they don't have to abide by the laws of other countries, which will cause us to have bad blood with those countries over time. One of the reasons why we can't go to North Korea. What else do you got, Mr. Pibbs?
All right, another achievement that she did was help make Juneteenth a federal holiday.
Okay. She ain't help. Biden did that by herself.
They said she helped push it.
She helped push the pen that Biden used to sign that executive order.
She was there.
His old ass.
She kind of.
Bro, all the black people in the country.
I also found this out. We also have on June 19th. There's another holiday for the voters. Something about Voters Act that goes along with Juneteenth.
You need to look that up before you start talking about it because you not being clear. But while you try to figure that statement out, I'm about to say this so that everybody here that is watching, because I appreciate y'all jumping in on YouTube as well as Twitter and TikTok that's watching this. I just want you to understand real quick that every black person that took off on June 19th made it a holiday. Everybody helped. We said we ain't coming to work today because it's a black holiday. Before it was a black holiday. It was just an unpaid day off. And we would barbecue the same way we barbecue on Labor Day, Veterans Day, Memorial Day, Easter, Halloween. We just didn't go to work.
Get that memo.
That's your fault. You knew.
That's my boss. I even pointed it out to her. Hey, can I get
No. Because see, what you did What you did was you asked the man for permission to not come to work. The rest of us that contributed to making Juneteenth a holiday called in sick. And the thing is that they couldn't tell you no, because it's not a blackout date, because it's not a national holiday that increases productivity in the company. So since June 19th is an average day for any place that doesn't recognize it as a holiday, you call in and say, I can't come into work, I'm sick, I got diarrhea, and you don't go to work on June 19th. Every year you call out on June 19th, they're going to eventually schedule you off on June 19th because your ass is not going to come to work one way or another. It's an unpaid day off, but yeah, use your PTO time if you're working on a moderate job that got you PTO time. I'm not going to
waste my PTO time on that.
You're not going to waste your PTO time. You are not going to waste your PTO. It's a waste of PTO. First of all, you're considering it a waste of PTO time on a National Independence Day for your lineage.
My lineage fought for it so we can celebrate it and I can have that day off. Now, if they don't,
right? So you're saying that so it's not a waste. It's not a waste.
Biden to force that. No, I shouldn't use my PTO time for that. No.
Oh, but see what you don't understand though. If Biden enforces it, Biden makes it a holiday. So that means if you choose to go to work that day, you get time and a half for that day. Or not if you choose to go to work that day. If you're forced to go to work that day, actually, you get time and a half for that day. You get time and a half for that day because it's a national holiday. It's a national holiday. So all banks are closed. All good jobs are closed that day. And all of the blue collar jobs are still open and they're paying time and a half for that day. So that ultimately means that if you're and the thing is that it's uniform for everybody. It's not just, it's just the black holiday and only the black people get time off. No, everybody doesn't get to go to work the same way everybody doesn't get to go to work for Labor Day. So likewise, you have with those people who said, I'm not going to sit in the back of the bus because I don't want to. That's the reason why we don't have to sit in the back of the bus. Those people that said, well, I'm not going. If you can have the 4th of July off, I'm going to have the 19th of June off. You got Labor Day and Veterans Day and Memorial Day. I got June 19th, Martin Luther King and Obama's birthday. Hashtag not going to work on none of them days, drizzle, drizzle. So they're going to have to tighten up on that. Talk about something. It's a waste of PTO time.
She oversees the White House Office on gun violence prevention. Meaning not
what?
Taking your gun violence prevention. So to properly iterate what that means is that she's focusing on school shootings and trying to limit that those situations from happening. She's not
so give every teacher a gun, and the principal, and the guidance counselor, and the coach.
I feel like that would increase.
And then no, it wouldn't. You know why? I'm going to tell you why. Okay, hold on a second.
Of course, he's going to tell us why.
Damn right. Make it make sense. 2 things you need to do. The every school shooting that has ever occurred, and anybody jump in and correct me if I'm wrong, required the child to come up missing on that day of school, where the child did not bring the gun to school. They came to school with the gun and shot up the school. Now, most cities, most states of the United States have truant officers that are assigned to find the children that did not come up on the morning attendance. As far as I can understand and remember, all of the school shootings happened halfway through the school day, which means that at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning when they did roll call, Lil Jimmy and Lil Timmy was not present. And then at lunchtime, Lil Jimmy and Lil Timmy came in and shot up the school. You had 4 to 6 hours to find them little bastards before they shot up the school. If children come up missing from the school roster, the legal system that says that all children must be in school are supposed to apprehend and detain those children and put those children in a juvenile facility until the parents can come and get them. That's how it was when we was growing up. If you left the school, a truant officer will pick you up and bring your ass to the school or bring you to the police station until your mom and dad got off of work and come and get your ass. And then you would be accounted for. during school hours. And your parents would be accounted for in order for you to be released. So no child would be able to live on their own in an environment that the parents are not there and the kids are doing their own thing. So why are we going to sit here and put barbed wire fences and chain locks and security guards and metal detectors and all of this stuff to keep the kids from coming to school and having the guns in the school, but you're not going to take action.
And in the school.
Oh, you don't see what they're doing to these schools then. They're like making these schools, these middle school, bro, I am not bullshitting you. I have never told you something that I was just fabricating the truth. You've got schools that look like fucking prisons, bro. They got 8-10 foot tall fences with barbed wire at the top of the fence guarding the perimeter of the school.
New York?
They are in public schools across the country. And then after that, they have the main doors that they lock from the inside, so you can't get in if they don't let you in. You got to go through metal detectors. You got security guards at the door. They got guns, and they're going to wand you and search your stuff, and which is a violation of your First Amendment right to search and seizure. And they're going to search your stuff without your permission, which is violating your constitutional right as a minor, because your stuff is not supposed to be searched without a warrant. But the school is going to search your stuff to make sure that you don't have a gun. That is a violation of your constitution. So you're already surrendering rights as a kid.
They countered that with because for
no. The right to search and seizure is the right to search and seizure. There's no age limit on the law. And the right to search and seizure means you have to have a warrant to search that property. They don't have a warrant to search that property. They don't have a warrant to seize that property. So they still have to get a warrant to search, but the kids don't know that. So the adults will search the kids' stuff. Now, the fact of the matter is, and as LB says, let's look at the timeline. The fact of the matter is that while you make sure that the kids don't come into the school with the guns, you have never had a school shooting where the kid brought the school to the gun. He was showing it off to the other kids in the school, and then he started shooting folks in the school. We have had kids bring guns to school, show their friends that they had a gun, somebody told, and that kid got expelled from the school, but nobody got shot. But we have never had a situation where the child brings the gun to the school, waits until recess, and just clack, clack, and get Big Billy in the schoolyard for bullying him during the school year. These kids come up, they don't show up for school the day they're going to shoot at the school. They come during the middle of the day. Some of them come a little bit before lunch so that they can catch whoever their target is in their classroom. And they will shoot up everybody that they're trying to shoot up. And these kids are targeting folks. They try to make it seem like, oh, the person is mentally unstable and they're crazy because they shot up the school. No, they're not crazy. They were tactical. They were not crazy. They knew that Bobby, Billy, Brennan, and Jared were all in room 5, room 6, room 9, and room 12. And what was the course of entry? They went through the side door. They went in. They missed Brad and got Jamie. They missed Brad. They got Jamie. But they were shooting at Brad. They were shooting at Jared. They were shooting at Ricardo. They was after certain people. They just were terrible shots because they did not go to the range before they went out there and took action on the situation. But the fact of the matter is, they got the teacher because the teacher protected the target they were going after. But the fact of the matter is, if that teacher had his, he would have popped that kid in the head when he came in, and it would have been all over. Nah. You're going to say, well, we shouldn't give the teachers guns. Well, no, we shouldn't give irresponsible teachers guns, because irresponsible teachers will leave their gun in their desk the same way they leave their purse in their desk, and the kids will come and steal the gun out of the desk, and then they'll shoot up other kids in the school because there'll be a bunch of guns in the school. But if you put the gun on the teacher's hip, put concealed carry tucked up underneath the shirt, in the pants, inside the belt, not outward, not open carry, concealed carry, where when a teacher hears shots fired, he lifts his shirt and pulls his firearm and goes and protects the kids. You got first response with the teachers, and you just give them field training, make it part of their teacher outings and stuff with the grades and stuff. You take them out there to the range once a season, and while the kids are at home on their spring break and summer break and everything like that, the teachers are getting 500 hours at the range where they're doing 5,000 rounds and increasing their accuracy so that they can pluck Bart Simpson in the head as soon as they see him and Dennis the Menace walking in there with them AK-47s. You can just bomb, kill them both, and the situation is resolved. But the fact is that even if you don't put guns on the teachers, if the truant officers go and find the damn children that are missing in action, where the parents can confirm that they're in the house with the child, or the child is not at the house and the child is not at the school, and they find the child, you put up a perimeter around the school. If kids come up missing, you got truant officers, armed guards outside of the school where you can't come within 500 feet of the school as a minor child without being approached by an adult, where you got to identify yourself and show that you've got legal right to not be in this school. They're going to take you down to the station and book you, because that is the 72-hour suspicion law, where you have a suspicion of committing a crime. They're going to detain you for 72 hours, which means that they can hold you for the 8 hours of school so that you can't shoot up the school. If they did their fucking job, you wouldn't have to have these middle schools and these elementary schools and these high schools looking like prisons, preparing the blue-collar workers for going to jail and being in the system. So she ain't doing no good job by taking the White House initiative, taking guns out the White House. Because when they stormed the White House, them motherfuckers didn't need no guns to fuck shit up in the White House. You had a few 100,000, well, no, I'm over-exaggerating. I think it was a couple thousand white people ran up into the White House on the White House lawn. And that march on Washington, that was Mr. Trump was, that march on Washington, nobody got killed. Nobody got injured. Okay, and they got guns. But let a black boy walk out of a gas station with some unpaid cigarettes, 9 bullets in the back. Now, the self-control of the person with the gun is the problem, not the fact that a gun exists. So that's what I'm trying to say, is that she ain't doing shit if she's not going to fix the core problem. The core problem is that you got a roster where you're supposed to have 300 kids and you got 297. Where the fuck is the other 3? How the fuck can you tell me that them 5 children in Columbine who was making all these weapons in the basement of their parents' house, their parents didn't know that they was doing that? And then how can you tell me that the same 5 children that have been getting picked on a regular basis, them same 5 children come up missing on the same day? You're going to tell me that the same 5 children that have been crying in the principal's office all year is all of a sudden not showing up to school on the same day, and red flags don't pop up? You ain't trying to find these children. They just absent today. If you would have found them 5 chillers, them motherfuckers wouldn't be able to walk up on your school. But you ain't give a shit. They not here. They not here. Fuck it. You don't get participation for today. And that's the reason why they's able to show up and run through the school with all them weapons. The parents don't pay attention to their children. That's the reason why they can go ahead and grab their mama and daddy's firearms and go up in there, because they couldn't buy them firearms. They're not old enough. They had to use their mom and daddy's firearms, grenades, and all this other stuff. Where the fuck you get all that shit from? Where you get that? Well, you can't even order explosive devices on Amazon without your mama and daddy knowing what's going on, because you ain't got no job. So your daddy looking at C4 explosives on his goddamn debit card transactions. Like he's okay with that. He didn't order that shit. What the fuck you mean? Like this is poor parenting skills. This is poor responsibility towards adults. And you're gonna say that she's gonna do something about it by not holding the parents responsible for their unruly children? Now, I'm gonna let you go, but I'm gonna dial it back real quick, and I just want to touch base on that demon child omen story that you and I was talking about a moment ago, before the child was born, and all this, that, and the other. And then I wanna just hit on that, and then come back around and talk at this demon child behavior at 14, 15, 16 years old, where had you did proper parenting in that situation, them children would have been shooting up them schools. Matter of fact, if the children is up in the school where the teachers and principals ain't able to protect the kids from the bullying in the school, why the fuck you ain't take the kids up out the school? Why you ain't check them out of that school, put them into a better school? Why you gonna leave them there and let them be miserable to the magnitude that they're gonna take your ammunition and go into their school where you're not doing anything about it as a parent, and they're gonna shoot up school? I'm gonna tell you something. When I had a bully when I was growing up, because I was a foot and a half shorter than everybody else, I used to beat up my bullies. I used to go and tell my mom and them about the fact that I'm about to go beat up this bully because I'm going through some shit in the school that the teachers ain't doing nothing about. My mom and them would come down to the school, cuss out the principal, cuss out the teacher. My sister literally used to talk about going into the school with Molotovs and burning that bitch down if they don't do something about it. So I guarantee you, when me and the person that was having problems with me, we didn't have to go down to guns. Once they seen the two of us fighting, they already knew that the parents was coming. And they were, oh, no. That guy over there, expelled. I didn't have problems with him after that. But I changed schools 3 times because I'm not taking no shit. I didn't have to go get my daddy's firearm. I didn't have to come out there with a 30-06 and come out there and go take care of business. I came out there with 2 fists. And by the time I finished with the 5 of them by myself, I guarantee you, nobody messed with me. By the time I got to high school, people was paying me to protect them because I had no problem with boxing folks from 4th grade to 8th grade. And my parents had no problem with coming to get me as soon as it was happening. As soon as it was over. They would be down the street because they knew what time I was going to get him. I'm going to go knock this motherfucker out at 3rd period, mama. 3rd period's at 10 o'clock. She there at 9:30 in the principal's office cussing out the principal. Soon as it happened, I'm out there fighting in between classes. We already know what's going on. If you know what your child is going through and you protect your child is not going to be shooting up no school. So she ain't doing shit because she should be holding the parents responsible for the bullshit. Same way they should be holding the owner of the gun responsible for what happened to Trump. Because if he ain't report that motherfucker stolen, he should be sitting in jail for accessory after the fact. Now what LB said was, I'm in Georgia, affluent area. Yep. 8 a.m. at school, 8:30 roll call. He know what's going on. 1 cop on duty for 3,000 kids. They can't leave to find. They can't leave to find a skipper. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If they had more on deck, if you got one security guard on 3,000 children, they got more than one truant officer in the streets. They got more than one. They patrolling. They riding around. You see the little police car, the little black and blue police car that says like Hillsborough County. That's a truant officer, bro. They were supposed to be riding around snatching up children. First thing you're supposed to do is go to the house and find out if the child is at the house. There's ways. So if she did what she was supposed to do and have a better system to protect the school from the kids that are absent from the school, let me tell you, she would be doing a whole lot better than turning the goddamn school into a prison. I went to Hernando Middle School in Brooksville, Florida. They have electronic doors like Falkenberg Prison. They have barbed wire fence. They have 2 teacher escort. 1 in the front, 1 in the back, walking the children in a straight line like inmates from one class to the next. Child cannot leave from a class and go somewhere else without at least 1 teacher escort. That's prison system mentality. And you telling me that she's doing something about that to fix it? Make it make sense, bro. That she ain't fixing shit. She making it worse.
All right. The next one is the last one. Representing the U.S. at the United Nations Climate Summit, advocating for climate change action worldwide.
I ain't got nothing to say about that. Because she over there talking about climate change and all the hairspray she put in her fucking head. She want to fix the environment. She would go natural. She would stop putting all that makeup on. She would stop promoting all of these aerosol cans that are being utilized to fuck up the planet. Hey, we here every night of the week, LB. So whenever you want to come through, 9 Eastern, 8 Central, 5 Pacific, we always here talking about something. I typically talk about the fucked up shit that happened in relationships Thursday through Sundays with our members only shows on Sunday nights where, you know, we answer questions from the fans, relationship advice, just common sense advice when people are selfish in their relationships and stuff. But me and Mr. Pibbs, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we're talking about all kinds of current events and other such stuff that's going on. And I mean, we just, I don't always agree with the topics that he put up here, but I go with him with it because, I mean, if it's important to him, it's important to somebody. So I feel like, fuck it, we'll do it. But I don't know. But for people like you who really appreciate what he brings up here, I encourage him to put it up there, even if I'm not too savvy about it. As long as we're not talking about COVID, because I don't think that anybody's going to benefit from COVID. We're just going to talk about misery, and nobody wants to talk about misery. So, but when we're talking about stuff that the imbalances in this country and the shit that doesn't make sense, I appreciate it. He thinks that we're a breath of fresh air. Just share the channel to people that you know so that they can come and join us. And we also have the opportunity for individuals who do want to jump in and comment in real time, that I forgot to put this up here at the beginning of the show, but there's a link that we put into the comment section that allows people to click the link and approve the mic, approve the camera. It brings them up onto the show in real time if they want to be seen or if they just want their voice to be heard. And they can speak to us in real time, tell us what their thoughts and their opinions are in real time, because we are an open forum, open-minded platform where we have open discussions about the things that people really don't want to talk about. We really borderline on the community guidelines of YouTube because they tell us that we can't talk about volatile stuff, and we kind of talk around the volatile stuff. But I really just got to bring to the fact that shit just don't make sense in this country. And nothing against you, Mr. Pibbs, but your mentality of it is what it is the common mentality of the average American person that allows us to be in fucked up situations where imbalance exists, but nobody's putting in effort to stop the imbalance. That's why I say that I don't agree with your opinion. It's not because your opinion is wrong. It's because you don't have an opinion. You should always, in every situation, have an opinion, either for or against something. Never on the fence. That is conflict avoidant. Never on the fence. You either agree that you should be going through this shit, or you disagree with having to go through this shit. You should never have a position where you think that under no circumstances should you have to decide that you don't have to go through this or not. You know what I'm saying? And he said, I'm really old. I like hearing your point of view. Hey, it's okay. You don't have to jump in and say something, but if you want to, you can. We love the old heads. I learned from my father. My father's almost 70 years of age. I learned from my grandfather. We got Big Mama's 85 years old. We get wisdom from the old folks. We definitely have no problem with listening to enlightened individuals from the last generation, because y'all are the last best generation that we had in this country. And I'm the last of a dying breed, being an 80s baby. So from y'all, I learned stuff. And that's the reason why I'm coming to the podcast with common sense and trying to make it make sense. But and it's hard because we're a small podcast. We got a little under 11,000 subscribers. So we encourage you to share a podcast to a lot of other people and get more people there. It's hard for us to get seen on YouTube, but we are streaming on Twitch and TikTok as well, because they have bigger podcasts with 1 million subscribers. And as soon as they go live, YouTube's algorithm doesn't show us. But we do this on a regular basis. But when it comes down to her hypocritically advocating for climate change, and we understand that the ozone layer is being damaged by aerosol cans and smog and pollution and all this other stuff, I'm all for an electric car so that I don't have to pay for the oil prices. But if you understand that every time you make a battery for an electric car, that you are doing 25 years of pollution in the creation of that battery in order for you to get a 10 to 20 year lifespan on that battery before that car gets crashed in 2 to 3 years. So while you're not destroying the future with the existence of the already created battery, you've already caused 26 years of damage to the ozone layer by creating the battery. So the electric car being $15,000 or more above the average cost of a gas powered car is not benefiting the economy or the environment as much as you would think. It's just a really good tax write-off, and it's a status symbol because you can afford a car. Like, for example, the average low value car right now is between $15,000 to $20,000. The average used electric car is $35,000, $40,000. The brand new, like the Prius, is $40,000, where you can buy an Accent or a Toyota Corolla for $15,000 to $20,000. So you're spending an extra $20,000 because it's electric, not because it saves the environment. But if it was good for the environment and they really wanted to support climate change and it really benefited climate change, then what you would do is you would do the same thing they did when they wanted you to stop using manual shift cars and start using automatic cars. You would lower the price of the automatic car, raise the price of the manual car, and force people to buy automatics to discontinue manual shift vehicles. If you wanted to say that electric power cars are better for the environment and you really wanted to push that, you would lower the price of electric cars, raise the price of gas power cars, forcing people to buy electric cars. If you wanted to encourage people to go solar, you would lower the cost of property taxes on a house with solar panels on it, raise the cost of property taxes on houses that don't have solar panels on it to encourage homeowners to put solar panels on it. Do you understand how if she really wanted to make change in this country, she could do like Project 2025 and literally force change? So after she puts all of that hairspray in her hair that is messing up the ozone layer, all of the perfume that's messing up the ozone layer, the $2,500 worth of makeup on her face that's messing up the ozone layer, the extensions that's messing up the environment and the ozone layer, the eyelashes that is messing up the environment and the ozone layer, the fillers and all of this other stuff, so that she can go to this press conference and say, fix the economy with the fake nails and everything like that. When you throw that stuff away, when you throw away that wig that don't work no more, the lace front, the extensions that you're just throwing hair in the trash that you didn't need because you was beautiful bald headed, you beautiful natural. But all of that, that's only going to be good for 2 to 3 weeks, and you're going to throw it into the trash. But if we let a balloon go in Florida, you're going to jail. You pop fireworks in New York, in Las Vegas, in San Francisco, you go to jail. But you take your wig off and chuck that in the trash, and you're saving the environment. Well, bitch, if you didn't buy all that extra shit, you would be saving the fucking environment. Because the production of that shit, because you got to understand, if you're not cutting hair off of a Brazilian chick in Brazil and shipping it to America, you are synthesizing it in the United States, which takes fossil fuels, and those fossil fuels puts off carbon emissions, and those carbon emissions damages the ozone layer. So all the women that claiming that they are for eco-friendly, you would be straight up natural, no makeup, no lipstick, no hair, no nothing that wasn't grown on your natural body. You would have none of that. If you use razors to shave your facial hair, that's it. You really, if you're talking about saving the environment, you would keep your mustache, you would keep your goatee, you would not shave your armpits, you wouldn't buy none of that stuff because it damages the ozone layer. All of that stuff that goes into the trash, where do you think we're putting that stuff when it goes into the trash? You know where it's going? It's going in that landfill right next to that village that Oprah built. That's where it's going. Because a third world country will accept money for you to dump your trash from the US into their country. That's where it's going. In Africa, in Mexico, Saudi Arabia, with anybody who even better than this. Here's something that you don't know. Even when they don't ship it to another country, they have gigantic trash barges that just float around the Atlantic and Pacific Ocean, just hauling trash. Not necessarily with a destination. They're just full of trash. Guy gets paid to drive a boat all day because the trash doesn't belong on land. And what happens when that boat sinks? All that trash is in our oceans. Now, out of 70% of the planet's water, 1% of it is drinkable. The other 99% has barges, trash barges floating around it, dropping trash on it, so that we can have dolphins and sharks floating up on our shore, so that Greenpeace can get money to take the trash off of their heads. Well, why don't you spend more money on not making the trash to begin with? You know that 99% of trash is biodegradable. So why do we have two different trash cans? Why do we have a recyclable can that is smaller than the garbage? There's only 2 or 3 things that is not biodegradable. Bones take longer to deal with. Styrofoam that does not degrade over time, and battery acid. So really, your trash can should be this big, real size. Your recyclables should be a 65-gallon garbage can. But that's not what we have. We have a little tote for recyclables and sometimes 2 65-gallon trash cans. We have a dumpster in our complex for trash, but we don't have a dumpster in our complex for recyclables. Make it make sense. Go ahead, Mr. Pibbs.
All right. Now that's all of her achievements. Now we're going to talk about her key issues that she's trying to push. Uh, it's going to be the same thing as what Biden has been pushing for. So lowering drug costs, student loan forgiveness, debt, and eliminating so-called junk fees.
Hold on a second. LB says that he learned to drive a 1964 VW Bug. I just want to say this real quick. That's an awesome ass car. I'm gonna make it short about this because I think he might have dipped out real quick. L Beats, straight up, bro. 1964 Volkswagen Bug is the sweetest ride next to the Mystery Machine. All right. And I've had an 88 Celica GTS. I've done with some Mustangs, 64 to 69, 84 to 94, the convertible hardtop. I'm going to tell you, L Beats real quick, that 64 Volkswagen Bug, sweet, sweet ride. I was raised on a standard shift vehicle. My sister was raised on a standard shift vehicle. My daughter's going to get raised on a standard shift vehicle. Her first car is going to be a manual, whether she likes it or not. And if I can help it, it'll be a Porsche, just so that she can ride in style when she really knows how to drive. When these kids these days, these Generation Z's say they know how to drive, when all you're doing is holding the steering wheel to keep the car from going off the road, and you're not doing a good job of that at this time, the fact is you don't know how to drive unless you know how to shift gears, unless you can listen to the engine and you can tell when to shift gears. You know what the performance is on the car. You know how to use the transmission to help you slow the vehicle down. You know how to be in the appropriate gear to maintain traction when you're hydroplaning. You know how to maintain control of your car when you're in snowy terrain, when you're in hurricane weather, when you're dealing with flood zones, and being able to maintenance your car and fix your car and keep your car pristine instead of putting 32-inch rims on it and loud stereo systems. And I grew up with 36-inch rims and loud stereo systems, and I can still tell you that instead of spending all that money on 30 minutes worth of driving in your car, when you really could have restored your car to its original condition and increased the value of your car, because a 64 Volkswagen that looks like it did on the showroom floor is more valuable, especially the Volkswagen, than a 64 Volkswagen with 24-inch rims, a custom candy apple paint job, and 38 subwoofers in it. Just going to be honest with you. So anybody who's a car enthusiast, we should talk about that one day. Anybody who's a car enthusiast, I'm with y'all on that. And I just wanted to touch on that real quick before we moved on to him talking about Kamala and Trump's position on whatever these two folks is doing. What is she pushing?
She's pushing lowering drug costs, forgiving student debt loan, forgiving student loan debt, and eliminating so-called junk fees. So
what's junk fees?
So I actually had to look that one up. Junk fees are the hidden fees that that they would put on later on your bill for
On what bill?
like if you're staying on a hotel or going on a plane. So I found out that if you go on an airline, um, they would actually charge you so you can sit next to your kid.
Yeah.
There's a fee for that. And
Yeah.
they kind of as one of those. So they're working on the Biden and Harris administration are working on ways to make sure that those are more transparent, or they just going to eliminate those type of fees so no one can, so they don't charge you for that.
Well, see, the thing is that you have the opportunity to pick your seats when you buy the plane ticket. And the fucked up part is that you buy 2 tickets. You come to find out that they're not seated next to one another. And then you ask the airline to put your seats together. And then the airline has to move somebody else who bought that seat to another seat and then put you in that seat. And they charge you a processing fee for that. And they call that junk fees. If you're behind would have picked the seats. And it's a lot like, remember when we went to the movie theater and we bought tickets to see that movie, and
Yeah.
we had to push a button to pick the seats where we wanted to sit.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't pick the seats that you want to sit, you're not supposed to sit next to one another. So now after the movie starts, you're asking the attendant, hey, can I go sit with my friend? For an extra fee. Yes, you can. But if you would have picked the goddamn seat next to you, if your friend is sitting in C4, you should be either sitting in C3 or C5. You should not be sitting in C2 because you like 2 and he like 4. There's somebody gonna sit between the two of y'all. You don't want that. Then if that person picks C4, you pick C3 and or C5 before you pay for the ticket. Now you come to find out that there are no seats next to one another, that you got C4 and your friend got A3. Y'all either gonna get a different flight or y'all not sitting next to one another. It is what it is. But you could pay an extra fee to sit next to one another because they're going to make somebody move in order for y'all to sit next to one another. That's what that fee is for. Now, I agree with them doing away with extra charges on the back end of the hotel fee, but the hotels typically tell you if you open that mini bar, bro, you're paying for it, even if you don't take nothing out of it. So why open the mini bar? They tell you that you can have room service, but they don't tell you that every time you call for room service, there's a price. But anybody who's ever been to a hotel before knows that if you ask for room service, there's a price. And you got to tip the guy when he comes. So, I mean, I feel like she's barking up a frivolous tree. But if she wants to make it where they put it on the advertisement, which you got to remember, it's there even if you can't see it. So you know that small print on the bottom of that commercial, all those words down there that you can't see? Mm-hmm. That's the disclaimer that tells you that there's extra shit that you got to pay for if you want extra amenities. If you only use what you bought, what you asked for, this is what the price is. If you ask for extra stuff because it's available during your trip, there is an extra cost for that. And one thing that every American has to understand and accept, there's a thing called upselling. So if you go somewhere and you order something, there is a flat rate for what you ask for. And there is an increased rate for the additional stuff. You go to McDonald's, you order a sandwich, you order a combo. The basic combo price is up there. They may even have the small, medium, and large price up there. But if you don't want the drink that comes with the combo, you want a different drink. There's an inflated cost for that. They don't tell you that, but you'll find out after the fact. If you want extra toppings on that sandwich, they don't tell you that, but there's an extra cost for that. You know, so if you want to make your single a double, they're going to charge you extra money for the extra patty. You want extra cheese, they're going to charge you extra money for the extra cheese. Same thing. You order pizza, you want a supreme pizza, you get the supreme pizza, flat rate fee. You want double toppings, there's extra cost for that. So when you go to a hotel and you buy the hotel room, then you ask for room service. You're going into the minibar. You're watching pay-per-view channels on the TV. There's extra cost for that. They're not going to charge you extra to go to the pool, but they're going to charge you extra to turn on the TV. They're going to charge you extra to get anything out of the refrigerator. And you should already know this if you're over the age of 21 and you've been to more than one hotel. So I don't see why she's trying to fight for that when she should be trying to fight for, like, not replacing American people with robots. I think that would be a better campaign pitch. Because while she's fighting for a hotel fee, you know why she's fighting for these hotel fees? Because she went to a hotel, she started touching stuff because they're like, oh yeah, you can get it, you can get it, you can get it. And then when she walked out of the hotel, her bill was 3 times more than what she went in because she touched a bunch of stuff. And she's like, I'm a vice president, and I'm gonna put a stop to this. And now she's on a rampage about it. The same way Sarah Palin got pissed off about buying shoes in Texas during Katrina. They're gonna. That's a personal agenda. That is not going to. How many people watching the show right now is going to be negatively impacted if the hotels is charging you for the shit you touched when you only rented the room? When you rent a hotel room, you rent the room. You don't rent the phone. You don't rent the TV. You don't rent the mini bar. And for y'all that steal, there's a surcharge for the shampoos that's coming up missing, the towels that's coming up missing, the bathrobes that's coming up missing. So don't sit over here and try to make it seem like, oh, they charged you hidden fees. Bitch, you ran out with their whole goddamn clothing line. You got the Hilton bathrobes at your house now. You got Hilton towels with just the cursive H on it. You could have took some Walmart towels and paid somebody to embroider a sexy looking H on your household stuff. You ain't had to steal them people's stuff. Stuck it in your travel bag and flew home with it. And then when they hit you with the bill, oh, that wasn't a, when I came, you said, well, ma'am, there was 2 of everything in the hotel room until you checked out. Now there is none of everything in your room. And housekeeping hasn't been there yet. So you're going to have to either return the items or pay the market price for those items. That's what happens. We put a little tape thing on the door. As soon as you break the seal of that thing, it don't matter how many little wine coolers you take out of there. You're paying for the whole fucking bar. This $300 for that little mini fridge, and you open that goddamn mini fridge, even if you open it to put something in it, it says it on the mini fridge that if you break this seal, you pay for everything involved. You might as well drink everything in there because you broke the seal. So, I mean, what hidden fees? What hidden fees? When we paid for your $500 plane ticket, did they charge you extra money when you got off the plane? Mr. Pitts.
I'm trying to think. Hold on. I don't remember paying for anything because you paid. That's you gotta.
No, but that's what I'm telling. That's what I'm trying to say. That's my point. But did you ask for food on a plane?
No.
Did you ask for drinks on a plane?
No.
Did you take anything off the plane that you didn't bring on the plane?
No.
So why would you be charged extra shit on the plane? She flew on the fucking plane. She drinking champagne. She eating fucking lobster. She watching Disney Plus, and then she gonna get mad because her $500 plane ticket is $1,500. Well, bitch, don't eat the fucking shrimp and lobster on the fucking plane. They gonna feed your ass. They gonna give you whatever the fuck you ask for when you get on the plane. But everything you ask for on that fucking menu is gonna cost you some money when you get off this motherfucking plane. Unless you get one of them Disney meal plans that say that the food is free. Like the Carnival Cruise, unless you buy the wristband and say that everything you eat is free, you're going to have to pay for that shit when you get off the plane. Because your plane ticket was for the seat you're sitting in. The plane ticket does not include the shit that you get while you own the plane. You got to talk to them about that. If you're taking a 24-hour flight and your ass is going to be hungry, you got to talk to them about what the fuck is they going to feed you while you own this plane and how much is it going to cost you. Because otherwise you're going to pay $2,000 to fly to China and then you're going to pay another $1,500 because you asked for expensive shit while you was on the plane. And God forbid you steal the toilet paper, they're going to charge you for it, $50. Trying to complain. She on a campaign about goddamn hidden fees. You need to be talking about the hidden fees with the fucking phone company. Shit. Everybody trying to pay for goddamn talking to one another, and you got all these goddamn extra fees. Your plan is supposed to be $30, $50, $100 a month, and then your plan is an extra $50 for service charges. What fucking service charges? Did you give me the same garbage ass shit that Metro PCS is giving everybody? What you mean service charges? I should never have a signal drop with all these service charges you charge me. She ain't going after them. What about the water company? What about the extra service charges from the water company? Hey, you got an extra $600 worth of service charges. Why the fuck she ain't doing something about that? What the electric company charge you whatever the fuck they want, but your power go out and they're not going to give you a free month. What fucking service charges she's doing about that? She over here fucking with the hotel company because her ass was touching shit and then she had to pay for it. Her mama told her when she was a goddamn child in Toys R Us, don't touch nothing that you ain't willing to pay for. So just because you're the president's female don't mean that you're going to run up in there and touch shit as the president's female and swear to God that they're not going to charge your ass for it. There ain't no damn hidden fee. The fucking bill there. It says if you touch it, you pay for it. And now she's talking about something you got to put a disclaimer on every fucking door so that when she walk in, she can see the price of the shit she about to touch. But when you was in that aisle in Walmart with all them toys that had the try me button on it, Didn't they have a price underneath each one of them motherfucking toys? Didn't they? If you go into the toy section of a Walmart, Mr. Pibbs, all them toys with the try me button on it, don't they got a price up underneath them?
Yeah.
Now, if each one of them toys that you touch, they build you at the register, would you be pissed off that try me for a price was not written where you could see it, but every time somebody touched something, they had to pay for it? Would you be pissed off, or would you be like, well, I did kind of touch that?
No, I would be pissed.
Okay. You touched it and broke it.
Now that's different. I touched it, I broke it, I have to pay for it.
She touched the lobster, she fucking ate it. She got to pay for it when she get off the plane. Where's the hidden fees?
Yeah, if it was included and she was told.
It ain't included. It ain't told. You're not told that you got to pay for food when you're on the plane. You're told that you're buying a seat on the plane, not the food that you're being fed while you're on the plane.
Yeah, but so you can still ask, hey, if I ordered this, can I put...
Do you see what that you just said exactly what the problem was? She ain't asked, how much is this? That's what broke folks do. She entitled to say, give me this, thinking that it was all included. She's going to pass a law where when somebody says, give me this, with the sense of entitlement, that the person that's giving it to them has now obtained the obligation to inform you that this comes with a price that you must pay. And it is not included in the base price of what you pay. That's what she's fighting for. That now it's my job as the person behind the counter, when you're asking for an upgrade, to inform you that that upgrade is going to cost you more money. Now, you've been in hospitality before. You've been in customer service before. What happens when you tell somebody who feels like they're entitled to shit that it's going to cost more money?
What do I say to them?
No, what do they say to you when you tell them that what they're asking for is going to cost more than the price that they are talking about right now?
That was not under the description of the tag.
They're going to bitch because they're asking for an upgrade, but the price tag is on the base model, not on the upgrade. So when they ask for the upgrade and you say the upgrade is going to cost more, they're going to bitch. So now this Sarah Palin ass bitch is going to sit over here and put it on the blue collar worker to deal with bitching from self-entitled rich people, or not affluent people, but financially liberated people, to be able to bitch at us because we're going to tell them that what they're asking for has an increased cost in comparison to the price tag that is on the base offer. So you're saying that you're going to pass the law that's going to make me have to deal with more shit because you don't know how to keep your greedy ass hands to your goddamn self. I don't see her doing nothing good for us. Now, if she's gonna increase Social Security, she's gonna zero out Medicaid and not have costs for Medicaid, increase of the benefits for the elderly and the disabled. If she's gonna increase accessibility to food assistance, if she's doing that shit, she's working for the average person. But if she's not working on them three areas, she ain't doing shit. Oh, you want to do something about student loans? Bitch, make education free. Make second tier education free. Make public college. They can keep the private college. I'm not saying shut down a private college. I'm saying make a 4-year institution that's provided by the U.S. government where you don't got to pay for your education because your taxes is supposed to be paying for your fucking education. Because education is supposed to be common knowledge passed down from generation to generation. It's not supposed to be a financial industry. And then the next thing that I would say, when it comes down to, especially since you're going to pay for private college, since they're taxing you so much money to go to private college, they should put a minimum dollar sign that increases with inflation as to your base pay for the requirement for that education. So if you want me to go and work for Elon Musk and I am required to have a bachelor's degree that is going to cost me $70,000, then you are required to give me a $70,000 a year income with a 12% increase for inflation every year. If you're going to make it a requirement for me to have that degree, or you're going to reduce your requirement for education so that I can get the job because of my fucking skills. Now, you're no longer promoting, oh, you must funnel yourself through this financial institution, give them $200,000 of the money that you don't got, owe everybody $200,000 plus 20% interest so that you can get a job that's going to pay you half of living wage with a degree so that you can still owe for the college education and not have enough to pay to live, but you're smart now. And this is why me and educated women argue with one another, because they feel like they're smarter than the average bear. But you went and spent 70 grand on a college education, and now you're working at a hospital as a nurse, making the same amount of money as the guy in the kitchen in the hospital cafeteria, the same amount of money as the guy in the McDonald's on the lobby floor of Tampa General. You're making the same amount of money as that guy, and that guy's a dropout, and you're treating that man like he's garbage because you got a degree as a registered nurse, and you're making $70,000 a year, but he's making $70,000 a year as a shift manager of a McDonald's. You don't even know how much money this man makes, but because he's standing there with a big M on his hat and a big M on his shirt, and hi, my name is John, you're gonna treat him like a trick. But you have the same job that he got, serving folk, but your job holds more prestige. And because your job holds more prestige, because you required to have a degree to get that job, and he could drop out of high school and get his job, he can make more money than you in less time than you without having more requirements than you. And he can move up into the company, own a franchise, and everything to that effect. You, as an RN, are stuck. You can't do shit else unless you get you a master's degree and then go into the administrative department of your hospital. You will forever be an RN. You don't get promoted from an RN to becoming a doctor. You don't get promoted from being a doctor to becoming a surgeon. You go back to college and get more debt to change job positions in the hospital. So you literally go to college, you go to a 4-year institution to get a literal dead-end job in a hospital so that you can say that you work as a CTS, a CT tech, or a radiologist, or a registered nurse, or anesthesiologist. That's it. That's all you're going to be for the rest of your life. That's it. It's a dead end job. You don't go up. You don't move up from there. There are no promotions there. Whatever your fucking pay is your fucking pay until the hospital starts raising the pay of everybody in your job title. And if you're not working for a hospital that has a rate increase based on years of experience, yo ass, whatever you got hired when you got hired, that's all you're getting unless minimum wage forces that hospital to pay you more. So why would you go into a humanities job that's going to pay you minimum wage when you can get a tech degree where you're making double minimum wage? You can get an engineer degree where all the blue collar work is being replaced by robots, and your engineer degree would at least get you a job making the robots that are replacing the humans. You'll always have a job because you're either going to be fixing the robots that are replacing humans, or you're going to be building robots that are replacing humans. Like a software engineer, you're able to create and maintenance the software that operates the robots that are replacing the humans. You will always have a job. But if you get a job as a nurse, or you get a job as a what was that bullshit ass job title? And I ain't trying to disrespect nobody, but this was just a bullshit ass job title. What the nutritionist, like, why do they over glorify the fact that you're just feeding people? Like the lady that worked in a nursing home is supposed to be like a nutritionist. You're not a nutritionist. Sweetheart, you just put a glorified job title on the person that spoon feeds the person that doesn't feed themselves. That's not, you don't have to have all of this elaborate knowledge on herbs and other stuff to be able to create you're just feeding it to the people. You're just giving it to them. So we do this all the time. We do this all the time. A file clerk, we gotta call them the personal assistant or the secretary of the vice president or something. You got to give them a glorified title. And it's not just because it's women. It's just because like helper jobs have to have very awesome titles to make people feel better in America. So why do you have to be called a waste management engineer when you're a fucking janitor? Waste management is the new title for garbage truck driver. To make you feel special. I'm a waste management engineer because the last word is engineer, you're important. Yo, you're a trash picker-upper. Swiffer, quicker, picker-upper. That's what it is. So she hasn't said shit that I can jump on. She ain't said shit that I can jump on. But what the only thing I can say is that the shit that she's standing on is a whole lot safer for me than the shit that Project 2025 is standing on. Because even though what she's doing is not going to benefit me, what she's doing is not going to negatively impact me the way Project 2025 is going to negatively impact me. Because that shit right there, bro, all he needs to do is enact the purge criteria, and we will be set. Make America great again.
We should make a video about the purge.
Purge the impurities.
Oh my god.
That's what it is. That's what it's all about.
All right.
What do you got, Mr. Pibbs? What do you got? I know that was a well-warranted, well-established rant. Well-deserved. High five, everybody, for putting up with that.
All right, for now, let me go ahead and just say what I want to say because we got like a few minutes left. So, like Xander said, there's not really much stuff that she's gonna be promoting except for the abortion thing. I don't really know why she wants to push abortion rights. She should just leave that to the people. That's something like a governor or a senator should deal with.
She knows somebody that needs to get an abortion, and she's in a state that doesn't allow abortion. That's why she's doing it.
I'm not gonna say that. But
I'm speculating, but that's why.
I brought up this topic just so you guys can know.
Politicians have their own personal agendas when they go into office, and their personal agendas are sometimes in line with the political group. When you don't understand why somebody is doing something, it's typically because that person is not doing it for the betterment of the country. They're doing it for the betterment of themselves and the people that they know. So somebody, whether it's a family member, a friend, or somebody in her inner circle that she knows that is negatively impacted by the availability or the lack availability of abortion. And that's why she's advocating for abortion. There are no lobbyists that are promoting abortion, because the lobbyists clearly are promoting Project 2025 that's outlawing abortion. So in order for her to go against that, there's only two things that would be in line with her going against that. One is she knows somebody that is negatively impacted by the lack of accessibility to abortion, so she's going to promote it. Or two, she's only promoting it to spite Project 2025 outlawing it, hoping that anybody who disagrees with Project 2025 will vote for her. So she'll win the political campaign by default, because they'll just vote against Project 2025, which means she will get into office because they voted against Project 2025. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure.
Outside of that, there's no other reason for her to promote abortion.
Yeah.
Unless she's pregnant and the scandal ain't come out yet.
Oh,
it can't be Biden, because Biden ain't took enough pills to keep himself from dribbling on his own shoes. So
But anyway, for for Kamala Harris, it's just pushing the same agendas that Biden and Obama have been pushing. Make sure they stay on track on the status quo. Now, for like illegal immigration, she has done some projects that supposedly did help with illegal immigration. It was
So what
called
projects he do for illegal immigration?
it's called the Central America Forward Initiative. So basically, she helped. It was a program that she helped legal immigrants go back to their country without getting a job, so they don't have to come back here. And
Wait,
that actually was
say
impressive.
that again. She's helping illegal immigrants get out of the country so
Go,
that they don't have jobs in America that will require them to come back to work in America.
yeah,
So she's deporting them.
yeah, she's sending them back. They're being deported back. But she's putting them through a program so that they can get a job and get make ends meet. And
So she's putting them in a program where they can get a job in their home state, their home country,
yeah,
to make ends meet, so that they don't got to work in America.
mm-hmm.
Mind your own damn business, woman. Deport them. If you deporting them, send their ass back. Why is it our responsibility to give non-Americans jobs in a country that we don't control? Do you see the bullshit there?
The benefit of it was that it actually under the Biden administration when she was currently since she's currently a vice president, it actually lowered legal immigration. And
you said they lowered illegal immigration?
Yeah, it decreased. So
they decreased because the Biden administration had asylum that allowed those people within a certain period of time to file for citizenship. So they're not considered illegal immigrants until they have expired their asylum time frame and not obtained citizenship. Those people who are still in the country after the asylum time frame has expired and still refuses to become American citizens are considered illegal immigrants. So they are not reducing the quantity of immigrants that come into the country from Mexico. They are reducing the quantity of immigrants that come into America that are not willing to become American citizens, but expect to receive the American lifestyle from living in America. So there's a larger quantity of people that want to come here and don't have the time frame, the knowledge, or the skill set to get citizenship before they come here. They have to come here and get citizenship after the fact. And everybody who comes here without announcing themselves first are considered illegal immigrants. So that asylum initiative that Biden put up allows them to come here without advance notice. So you're basically allowed to come to the restaurant without a reservation, sit at the table, and apply for your reservation at the table, and then pay the cost to live here. That's what the Biden administration did. But that doesn't stop the fact that everybody else who has to reserve to be here still has to be authorized to come. We got to still say there's enough space for everybody to come in order for the people who registered to come 6 months ago to be able to still come. Versus the people who came without warning through the back door and said, asylum, I sit here. Parlay, I sit here. I fill out the paperwork under my parlay and I become American now. Parlay. That's the only difference. That's the only difference. And then Camilla's gonna say, well, you're gonna come here probably because you're running from a cartel or some shit like that. You owe somebody some money, loan shark or something like that. They're gonna break your legs, and she's gonna bring you back over there. But first, she's gonna get you a job that's gonna help you with your debt before you get the fuck out of my country. That's like me. That's like a homeless person breaking into my house. I'm going to give him a bed and a shower, and then I'm going to help him find a job before I kick him out of my house at my expense. Nah, I'm not going to get him a house. I'm just going to help him get a job so that they can get the fuck out of my house and pay for a fucking hotel. Why are you wasting? If you're going to deport their ass, deport their ass. If you're going to get them citizenship and you're going to get them established in the United States where they're going to pay taxes, then put them to work. If you're going to give them zero benefits and then put them to work below minimum wage because they are here and they're not qualified as American citizens, and all the constitutional rights that are for American people do not apply to illegal immigrants, then you got them out there for 12 cents on a dollar, like the inmates working in the fields, making the American dollar go a lot further. So your apples and oranges are still $2-3 a pound instead of them being $2-3 an apple. Do that, but don't expel American dollars to send them back. You're already costing us some money by putting them in a bus and shipping them back over there. Matter of fact, why not do a filtration system? You got them coming in. Why don't you take all of the inmates and ship them out? You got plenty of room, don't you? You got a few hundred thousand, sort of, a few hundred thousand immigrants come in willing to get jobs and respect the laws and abide by the country's rules, and you exile 200,000 inmates who don't respect the laws, who don't respect the rules, who don't give a shit what America says.
Yeah, because they're liberal.
Like, see, when you do that, and then you do this, and then you're not responding. You're just kind of like throwing up hand signs. You almost don't want to comment because you know that you're going to come up off of you can't say the truth, which is that makes more sense than the shit that they're doing right now. We have a constitutional obligation. You're told in the legal system that your crime can get you deported. Your certain crimes can cause you to get the death penalty. They put you on death row, but never actually give you the death penalty. We just seen a guy on social media recently who begged for the death penalty because he had a life sentence, and death penalty gives him isolation, and he's treated like a king until death row. So until they call his ticket to put him to death, he's gonna live in prison until he dies. But he's eating steak and lobster in isolation with his own TV, his own yard time, by himself, where he does not have to socialize with Gen Pop. And that is a better standard of living in prison than to just be doing life in prison. So he's begging for death row as a sentence instead of life in prison, basic life in prison. So why are these motherfuckers in prison who broke our laws, who disrespected our country, who disrespected the people in our country, are eating steak and lobster, free room and board, free showers, free shelter, no requirement to work, and the rest of us got to struggle to get by? And our tax dollars are paying $40 or $50 or $75 a head for that shit every day of the week. Because prison system is privatized. So tax money is paying to keep these people incarcerated. Why are we not saving government money and eliminating all of the violent crimes and then exiling all of the nonviolent crimes? You wouldn't need a prison system. You would tell them, if you're seen back in the country after this date, you will be shot on sight. Exile. Go be some other country's problem. Put them on a boat, drop them off in Britain. The way Britain used to put them on a boat and drop them off in America, put them on a boat, drop them off in Britain. They're your problem now. Why not do that instead?
So you want them to treat them like Napoleon?
I want them to treat them like the American constitutional laws that are written in this country. You're talking about Napoleon. I grew up in Louisiana, Napoleonic law.
Napoleon, after he lost us a war.
Matter of fact,
they trapped him instead of sending him in another country. They trapped him on an island.
Matter of fact, instead of just sending them to Britain, why don't you just put them on the front lines of our military, drop them off in war zones, and just leave them there? Let them fend for our country or for their own lives, either way, and see what happens. Drop them off in Iraq and Iran and Egypt, where all the wars are, and whatever happens, happens.
They told them to do what? Go kill some people? The thing that they were committed or were put in jail for. Go in and kill some more. Probably we have to leave one eye open when we're sleeping.
For what? You can't. How are you going to? Do you believe that if they drop 200,000 American inmates in Korea, that those 200,000 American inmates would make it back to the U.S. alive?
I really think they could.
North Korea, not South Korea, North Korea.
Oh, okay, then that's a different story. They're gonna be tortured as hell.
All right then. So my point is that if
no, because they're gonna send them back, saying we don't want these people. We didn't agree
in boxes they'll send them back, and not necessarily the same person is in both halves of the box.
If you drop it off at someone's else's porch, it's like if it's like someone like they took a dookie, they walking their dog and they let the dog poop on your lawn instead of on their own lawn and cleaning up that mess. Do you want the if someone poops on your lawn, do you have to clean it up or they have to clean it up?
That's not a good analogy because this is not just poop. This is
you're sending them.
No, it's not. You know what they're doing is
because you don't want to deal with them.
What they're doing is they're taking a bunch of people. They're taking a bunch of people and they're forcing them to trespass on your property. That's what they're doing. Your response to that is not take them back. Your response to that is get off my lawn or face the consequences. And they can't get off your lawn. So what happens then? What happens then?
So you're sending them your bullshit because you don't want to deal with it.
No, I'm not sending them my bullshit.
I'm not sending them my bullshit. You didn't ask them. You just sent them over there.
That's right.
And you know that they're gonna take care. You want us to take care of them.
No, I did not say that you're gonna take care of them. I mean, well, you're not gonna take care of them like providing them food, water, and shelter. You're gonna take care of them like white glove treatment. You're gonna take care of them like white glove treatment. I understand, yeah. But so what I'm doing is I'm not just taking out the trash. I'm not just taking out the garbage. I am preserving my U.S. troops because instead of me frontline infantry getting rid of honest American citizens that will obey the laws and follow instructions and follow the rules, I am taking wayward suicide squad folks and sending them out there to go do stuff where if you survive, you'll get your freedom.
Oh yeah, suicide. Here's your mission.
I'll send you somewhere over there.
Yeah, this thing, and hopefully
you got to go over there and take out their entire army. There's less of you than there are of them. If you survive, you're free. But we're not coming to get you though. We're gonna drop you off over here, and whatever happens, happens. I tell you what, we would have no prison system. We would have less crime because nobody would want to get deported.
Here's what we could have, instead of them throwing them into another country, how about we make an island and we just put them, literally do survival games with them because they're convicted, they did horrible things that's beyond human comprehension. Throw them in there, let them duke it out and make it into a TV show out of it. I bet you they'll get 1 million views from it.
So what you're telling me is
Deathland Wonderland.
So what you're telling me is that you should just take all of the people that are in Guantanamo Bay and put them on national TV fighting to the death, because they already did that. They already put them on an island.
And look, they got numbers.
They put them on an island. They just didn't televise. It's a black site. It's a black site. They didn't televise it. They didn't put up there what's going on between those guys.
And it worked.
No, it didn't. No, it didn't. Because they're just holding them there. They're just holding them there. They're not doing anything to them.
That would solve like most of America.
But what your proposal is that you
can use the funding.
You said turn it into Gladiator. So have Guantanamo Bay Gladiator where they fight to the death and whoever survives can live another day. Now, that means that all of your violent crimes will go to Guantanamo Bay, and every time there's an opening, you would send somebody over to Guantanamo Bay. It'll be worse than Platform because, like Fight Club, rule number 1 is on your first night, you have to fight.
Yeah.
Actually, that's rule 4 because the first 3 rules of Fight Club nobody talks about Fight Club. But rule number 4, on your first night, you have to fight. So if you did that and then you televised it, then you would be able to get a whole bunch of money that would not require tax dollars to pay for imprisonment, or you could just legalize the purge, which would save so many tax dollars.
That was gonna be the purge. No, we're not doing that.
I've seen the final purge yesterday, and I'm just thinking like the forever purge. I'm like, they make a good idea. That's like World War II, Civil War II. Like, yeah, probably need to have that.
Did you see the first purge yet?
I've seen all of the purges.
I mean, which one that you said you didn't see? Oh,
the forever purge. Yeah, I just seen it yesterday.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I seen the whole thing. Yeah, it was all right. It was all right.
Yeah,
I'm trying to see how that
super intense like the other ones.
How is it gonna be a sequel? Well, no, because they spent most of their time just escaping. So it wasn't like the people who were participating in the purge. It was the people that were just trying to get away from the purge. But it was, in a way, it was super intense because they had America burning. And the reason why I thought that was interesting was because in 2021 they foreshadowed what the United States is going to look like between 2025 and 2029.
But
I'm going to say that again. In 2021, they put an image of the United States foreshadowing what it's going to look like between 2025 and 2029.
Up in smoke.
On fire. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It'd be like, oh, hey, Tim, how's it going, man? Bro, you tried to kill me.
No, they're gonna be the Project 2025. You're gonna have folks out here. They're gonna be out here, and you're gonna see rainbow flags with Tommy guns. You're gonna see marshmallow with
that. They tried to do it in a black neighborhood for the first purge, and
the
first thing that we did was party, and you had to put in criminals, real actual criminals, to make them start purging.
No, they had one person that was a serial killer, and he was killing the people in the hood. But they actually they didn't release criminals. They released mercenaries, which were ex-military, in order to incite the riots of the purge in the very first purge. But when you look at the very first purge and then you look at the March on Washington, the difference between minority folks having no rules and regulations, and they will turn it into a literal modern day Woodstock where they will party and screw one another with no responsibility, versus those people who marched on Washington who would burn the country to the ground because of political beliefs. You have different opinions that are coming from different areas, and that is where we say, damn. Oh, so he said we were brushing fresh air. We appreciate that. And that's when we say, damn. So if we started up a scenario where Second Amendment right to bear arms, because if you listen to the bottom line of the Forever Purge, the last 2 minutes of the show, the movie, where they are literally talking about like how the country is at arms, and they're like, oh, the average American is aiding the founding fathers in fighting against the Forever Purgers. So the day-to-day Second Amendment gun right owners are now taking up arms with the United States military to fight against a rebellion in the U.S. military, where that rebellion in the U.S. military, the Forever Purge, is Make America Great Again, Project 2025.
I still want to point out that you need to incite it just for us to do bad things.
No, so, you don't need to incite it.
No. I'm talking about the first purge, because we were just partying.
No, you don't need to incite it. You need to put it in the right community. You put it in the wrong community. You put it in a minority community. You should have put it in a non-minority community. If you had started it up in a non-minority community, they would have burnt that neighborhood to the ground inside of 12 hours. So you put it in a minority community.
So when you guys say black people, it's in our nature that we're violent.
Well, Martin Luther King proved that we're not violent. That's why Martin Luther King turned the other cheek when he got hit in the head with a brick, because he proved that we are not as violent as other cultures.
Yeah, that's my point.
We're disrespectful.
We're disrespectful.
We're just not as violent.
Where we need to bring violence. If you try to send us into violence, we will respond towards it with more violence.
But that's the reason why I say, if you take us, those of us that are not following the U.S. laws, you take us and you put them in other countries where they're in a violent environment because that's how they have to survive. Then they will defend our war or defend our country inadvertently because they have no choice.
Still, no,
they have no allies.
They'll
They have no
probably
allies
crack
because
to send them back to us, saying, "Stop bringing your crap over here."
I promise you that they're not going to do that. I promise you they're not going to do that.
One of them is going to catch on and see what you're doing, and they says they'll see like, "No, stop it. That's not what."
No, they're not going to do it. They're gonna take them out on site. It's going to be like Chris Brown and Chris' girlfriend.
They'll probably be used for cannon fodder, but or testing their new experiments. Or weapons.
Yeah, so which means that they will either be eliminated on site or they will be prisoners of war, and they will be mistreated in every foreseeable way until they are no longer alive.
So wait, so what would happen?
But in neither situation would they return.
To like make it all the way back to America.
Well, that would require them to eliminate their targets, steal something from over there that has the ability to commute them back to the United States because we're not coming to get them.
Then if you're going to do that, give them knives.
No, don't give them nothing. Don't give them nothing.
I thought you said you're going to give them something. Like they're going
to be military. No, I said they're going to replace the military. We're just going to send them out there. That's not military. Bro, hold on. You've got armed robbery, theft, and you're telling me that you got armed robbery, theft, and a murder charge under your belt, and you're telling me that I can't put you in another country and you rob somebody and then take them out and then steal something to get back. Oh my God. That's exactly what you got charged for. Your penance is do it over there. Do it over there and make it back. Go over there, eliminate somebody, steal something, and then hotwire it so that you can make it back to the U.S. If you can make it back to the U.S. in one piece, you're free.
Go ahead and start wrapping it up. So I brought up this topic because
we still have people coming in, but I mean, since you're hungry, I don't know why you don't have food right next to you so that you can just eat while you're here. Excuses. You know, our competition can do a 6-hour podcast and we can't do a 3-hour podcast. Same day. No, that's us. That's us. That's motivation. That's drive. Prepare yourself for the long haul.
That's good.
Yeah, that's good. Prepare yourself to be better. Don't just allow other people to be better than you and say, "Oh, well,
they have women that's on their payroll." We do not.
Don't change nothing. Just because they got women on their payroll don't mean that they're not running a 6-hour podcast. We're not able to run a 6-hour podcast because you tap out.
No.
But you couldn't even run a 2-hour, 30-minute podcast. You're tapping out. Oh, I'm hungry, so I'm going to end the podcast. Get you something to eat. That's how it is. But since you want to wrap it up, you don't have anything else to talk about this lady who's not representing the American people?
No, that's all that is to it. That's her achievements. That's what she's targeting.
So she has not achieved shit, and she's targeting stuff. She's targeting shit that does not matter to the American people. And then she's going to say, if you don't like Project 2025, vote for me. That's the only other thing that she's saying.
All
right, we understand. What else do you got?
No, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, do you have any closing statements before we wrap this up?
Yeah. So, like I said, the only reason why I brought this topic up, so you know who goddamn, can't talk today. Who's running for president and who you should properly get to know that candidate before you go say, "Oh, I'm going to go ahead vote for him blindly." Now, like Xander said, we're still gonna me and Xander are still gonna vote for her because
who?
Second option.
Why is you speaking on me? Why is you speaking on me?
Because your ass gotta vote.
Am I?
Yes.
Okay, I might decide to vote for the independent party.
Okay, that's fine. So
talking about me and him are still gonna vote for her. Who? I never said I was gonna vote for her. I just said that Project 2025 wasn't in my best interest. You be putting words in my mouth.
Okay, I like I said, I don't care if you guys vote for her or not. If you want to vote for Jesus, I feel like that will be the best option.
Oh Lord, you might as well just Camacho. Vote for Camacho or
Or
Dwayne the
Cthulhu,
Rock Johnson. He
or
was good.
vote for Cthulhu, or hell, vote for Keanu Reeves. There's nothing ever goes wrong when you vote for Keanu Reeves or put him
Nah,
on your team.
somebody always gets kidnapped when you vote for Keanu Reeves.
Who gets kidnapped?
The chick.
Okay,
Because
that's
Keanu
what
Reeves
you
is
wanted, though. You
no,
wanted,
no,
yes,
no. Because you know
yes,
what the problem with that is that he's gonna go get the problem and bring the problem back. He's not just gonna leave it out there.
yeah, but it's gonna take him some time.
Yeah, but that's gonna take money out of my pocket to go get him. She went out there, she got snatched,
No,
bro.
now
Let
let's
her stay out
vote
there.
in, and then he'll automatically do it for the
No,
people
no,
because he's
no,
a
no.
nice
He's
guy.
gonna
He'll do
automatically
it.
do it with my tax money. Every rescue mission takes tax dollars. And when you're doing a rescue mission off of stupidity, that is wasted tax dollars.
All right, but make sure you guys know who you're voting for. Do your proper research. Make sure make proper judgment calls when you're looking at their policies and what their key interests are, because they sometimes won't line up with yours. But if it comes out, you gotta pick the lesser two evils. So that's my message to you guys. But please, please, please do not let Project 2025 get pushed through.
Oh, see,
It's
you had a whole agenda with this. You're talking about begging people not to vote for Project. No, I'm just gonna tell them this is what y'all are about to deal with. So here I am being conflict avoidant. I'm not gonna tell you whether or not to vote for Project 2025 or not. I'm just gonna let you know that according to what they got going on, is that if you got Social Security, you're about to get fucked over. If you got Medicaid, you're about to get fucked over. If you got food stamps, you're about to get fucked over. If you're part of the LGBTQ plus community, you're about to get fucked over. And if any of y'all are going to vote for Project 2025, y'all are about to be sadly disappointed. That's all I'm telling you. That's all I'm telling you. If you file taxes as an individual instead of a C corporation, you're about to get fucked over. If you are not a big business, you're about to get fucked over. If you are not investing in high earning stocks and bonds and mutualities, you're about to get fucked over. So, knowing that, if you still vote for that to happen to you, it is what it is. I'm not going to beg you to not prepare. What I'm going to do, first person accountability, I'm going to build me 3 more C corporations so that I can make my money move around in ways where my money can make money for me, just like the top 1%. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make sure that my money is divided in so many different places to where my money will be written off somewhere, where charity will get some money somewhere that I own, because we can do that. Tax laws. Read the tax laws that exist. Read the tax laws that are about to go into effect. Read how you can benefit from the way the tax laws are written so that you are not getting arrested for tax evasion, so that you are not arrested for embezzling or laundering or anything like that. And you are able to set up a lifestyle around the laws that exist, because they're not existing in your favor. These laws are not made for you. These laws are made for people who have money that are trying to keep their money. And if you barely got money and you don't want to pay for all of their standard of living with your money, then you will find a way to adapt to this situation if this is going to be our future. I'm not going to beg you to please, please, please vote against it. I'm going to tell you, whatever happens, bro, you're either going to live with the society that we have now, or you're about to have a society that is no longer in the favor of anybody that makes less than $168,000. So if you make less than $168,000, go read the 900 pages of Project 2025 and see how much you're about to be fucked over. I'm not telling you how to vote. I'm just telling you what's about to happen to you. Because all it takes is enough dark money to influence the 12 electoral voters, and the 355 million Americans that vote will popular vote for one person and electoral vote for Project 2025. So can our vote really matter or be overruled if money can negatively influence the electoral votes? Because electoral voters are people. And if they can be bribed into voting a specific way where they're ignoring the vote of the people that they represent, can the electoral voters really destroy our upcoming election and the process of selecting a president or a representative or figurehead for our country? You're quiet, but that's a real question.
No, I'm waiting for you to be done.
I asked a
So,
question. I'm not done, but I asked a question.
ask the question one more time.
Can all this dark money going around, which is lobbyist bribes, off the books, negatively impact, because electoral voters are people, negatively impact the voting process, because all we need is those electoral voters to receive a large enough bribe amount to vote
Yeah,
in favor of a thing that our dark money situation that we already know about right now, that has been happening already before Project 2025 was announced, could negatively impact our ability to have a fair and
yes.
non-biased election process. Yes. And also that also means that those electoral voters, if they are compromised, that would negatively impact the average American's ability to vote, because they will be overruled by a lesser number of electoral voters who have more authority over the election process.
Was that a question?
Yeah, that's a question.
What was the question again?
Because
Say it one more time.
the electoral voters are the last step to picking a president. The American people vote. The electoral votes are supposed to take the majority vote from the people that they represent and vote in that direction. If they are manipulated, the electoral voters are manipulated by money. Wouldn't that destroy the average person's ability to vote? Because they will be overruled by the electoral votes who have the final say.
It depends on how big the landslide it is from the people's vote than the electoral vote. So let's say that in the people's vote, there is 50% 50% Republican voted for such and such guy, and 50% Democrat voted for such and such guy. It's the electoral college job to be the tiebreaker. Now, if that, or let's say that
No,
42%,
see, a president is supposed to win by 50% plus one votes.
yeah,
So if
that's where
sixty
the
percent,
electoral
if
college,
if
if both,
60% of the voters, if 60% of the electoral votes are for a specific president, the other
so in
40% do
those
not
cases,
matter.
there's two things that's going to happen. Either they have to do a recount so that it'll be more unanimous,
Of what?
or they have to push it up to the electoral college, and the
How do you
electoral
figure?
college has
The
to.
electoral voters vote for the president. So what happens is that the people vote, the
They
ballots are
take
counted,
part in the voting of the
the
president,
the
but they don't.
people the people vote, the people vote,
Hmm.
and then the majority vote is what the electoral voter will vote for, or that's what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, they're supposed to push if the what people vote that is more of the landslide. They have to
So
push. It's more like a requirement. They have to push what the people have voted
so
for.
a person, well, no, they're supposed to. So you got to remember, we're talking about human error here. They're supposed to vote for what the people vote for.
Yeah.
They don't have to vote for what the people vote for. They can vote against the people. And that's a situation where you've seen in past elections where one
Now, if
president, that's a situation where you've seen in past elections where one president had the popular vote, where the people voted for that president, but that president did not get the electoral vote, where the electoral voters voted for a different president. You can do some research about that. We can do another show
no,
about it
I
later, because I
remember
know you want to
because
get
they
something to
did
eat.
it for
But
John
I'm telling
Kerry
you,
versus
but I'm
George
telling you
W.
that
Bush.
this has happened in the past,
Yeah, I
where
remember.
one person received the popular vote, where the U.S. people voted for that guy to be president, and
Hmm.
another guy was voted in as president by the electoral voter. So even if we have a landslide vote where 70% of the popular vote goes to Kamala Harris, if 60% of the electoral votes go towards Trump, Trump is 50% plus one voted in as the president by electoral votes. So the electoral voters have the final say. And if 6 out of 10 or 7 out of 12 of the electoral voters vote for Trump, then 255 million people could vote for Kamala Harris. But those 7 people said Trump should be in office, Trump will be in office. So that's what I said was because the electoral voters have more authority over the American vote than the American people do, that this dark money could corrupt the electoral voters, which is the middle ground, and interfere with the election, which overturns the government's ability to vote. And then in Project 2025, it's going to make the civil servants in the Senate and the House and all of this stuff as government agents, where they can be hired and fired by the president, where you're going to fire all of the people that don't agree with the president and then put a bunch of people in office that are going to agree with the president. Then ultimately you're going to end up having a full House of Republicans, which is possible. And if you have a full House of Republicans whose job is to enforce the Republican agenda, every 4 years when you have an election, you're going to have electoral voters are all Republicans. They're going to vote Republican. You're going to have all of the policies from the Republican Party enforced because they're all Republicans. Nobody's going to disagree. You're going to have a monetary government that is less likely to be overturned, which is one of the reasons why Trump's statement is after this year, you will not need to vote ever again because your vote is not going to be as non-biased as it is in that situation.
So that electoral vote, if the electoral voter votes against the popular vote, they would actually succumb to maybe get fined or disqualified or replaced or substitute by another electoral, or potentially even be persecuted by their own state. So if they vote against, so it may cost them
the money that they're being given from the dark money.
Yeah. So if
you're fined, so let's say you're fined $1 million for going against the popular vote, but they gave you $5 million to do it. You got the money. You still got a $4 million profit to go against the grain. They're not saying that they're going to change or rerun the election. They're saying that if you vote against the popular vote, that guy's still going to be president. You're just not going to have a job after this. So that ultimately means that if each one of the electoral voters got, say, $10 million a person, when you know that the top 1% has billions, which means that they could throw $1 million away and not have a problem to get what they want. So they get, each one of the electoral voters got $10 million to do it. And let's say the U.S. government fined each one of those people $1 million for doing it. They still got a $9 million profit where they can live without employment for the rest of their life off of that $9 million. All you got to do is fuck the system up one time. And the only way that they're going to go to prison is if you can prove beforehand that you committed a crime. All they got to do is just put the money in a fucking escrow account that has nobody's name on it, and you can access that money to pay off your debt. Or somebody donate the money to you to pay off that debt to the government. You don't got to go to jail. You don't have to pay the fine. And then 6 months after the situation is over, your standard of living is covered for the rest of your life. These are the types of scenarios that can happen when billions of dollars is being pushed around in dark money that is recognized by the U.S. people. And all it takes is for 12, 15, 20 different people to be compromised by an amount of money that they cannot refuse. The $1 Million Man said in the WWE back when the WWF was back when the WWE was the WWF, the $1 Million Man said everybody has their price. It just depends on how much you have to pay. That was his motto. And the truth is that under that same model, everybody really does have their price. And if you offer them enough money and compensate for the punishment, they'll take that money and do whatever the fuck you want them to do. That's the capitalist model. So I'm not saying don't vote. Vote. But what I'm also saying is we might just have to prepare for the inevitable, because I mean, since there's a lot of bribery going around and it's recognized because it's unclaimed allocated funds from a source where you're not prohibited from utilizing this money isn't being frozen. You get it, you get to spend it, you don't know where it came from, but it's convincing you to do something that you're not supposed to do under those pretenses. They recognize this already, and they've identified it as dark money. That is lobbyist money that is compromising the U.S. government's ability to function with the best interest of the U.S. population. That dark money is going to have people do stuff that is not in favor of the people, instead in favor of the agenda of the person giving them the money. And you're saying, well, you know, they could potentially go to jail for it. Okay. Unless the president of the United States gives you immunity before you get sentenced. So if you can get, let's say you get $5 million, they charge you $1 million and 25 years in prison, and before, or they want to charge you $1 million, but they're prosecuting you, you're pending trial, and before they can give you a judgment, the new president of the United States gives all the electoral voters immunity. Presidential immunity. He's got the right to do that because you haven't been convicted yet. And if he gives all of those electoral voters presidential immunity, they wouldn't even have to pay the fine. They would not even have to pay the fine. But if they paid the fine, they would definitely not get jail time. Because the president could give them immunity before the investigation would start after inauguration. Soon as you say X, Y, and Z president is a president, oh, these electoral voters got bribed, open investigation. 60 days later, president's in office, you're still investigating the situation. President gives everybody immunity before you reach a decision. It takes shortest period of time, 90 days, to process a legal action. Because you have to get all the evidence together. You have to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt. It takes you at least 90 days. And in that 90 days, the president can be in office in 60 days, give them a pardon instantly. And before those 90 days are up, those guys got immunity. So can this go south for the American people without the American people being able to do anything about it? Can it?
Probably.
Yes, it can. Not probably. Yes, it can go south. Fucking exactly what I'm telling you right now. As soon as I tell you I told you so in 5 months, I'm going to tell you I told you so. I'm just going to tell you 6 out of 10, 60%, because 50% plus 1. So if 60% of the electoral voters vote for Project 2025 and the popular vote is for Kamala Harris, I'm going to tell you I told you so. Now, if the popular vote is for Project 2025, I got nothing to say. If we have a first female president, I got nothing to say. But if the popular vote is for the female president and we end up with a non-female president, I'm going to tell you that I'm going to make a short out of today and put it with that day. And I'm going to tell you that I told you August 5th of 2024 that dark money was about to fuck this country up, and now Project 2025 is going into effect. I just want to make sure that I state it, because just like The Simpsons, I was telling y'all about AI taking over the workforce in March. And now Amazon, they replaced 200,000 employees. I was telling y'all about how shit's not going right in these social interactions. Women are monetized in social interactions. Women are mad about what I'm saying, but they're not proving me wrong though. Now that we're talking about politics, I'm about to tell you how the government's about to fuck itself up. And we got to deal with it. And I've been telling y'all how to deal with it for the last 2 months. So in 4 months, 5 months, when it happens, I will tell you, I told you so. I might do a whole show about it, telling you I told you so. Just saying. After that, I want to make sure that y'all know football season already started last week, Thursday. I don't know if Mr. Pibbs is going to cover all the stuff that the athletes do, because the athletes be fucking up everything and everybody in their off time when they're not on the field. But preseason just started.
Athletes that someone got punched in the face, or
no, you got failed drug tests. You've got baby mama drama. You've got accusations against them. You got people on the registry now because they got proven guilty of it. You've got drug charges. You've got violent crimes. You got people throwing away their football career to still be a thug. You got people get paid under the table. Remember the Hitman Squad when they got rid of the entire New Orleans Saints defense and the New Orleans Saints coach for intentional hitting? Like, they got stuff going on in the NFL. You got like 55 to 75 people on each team on the field, plus the staff that doesn't hit the field. So you've got about a few 100,000 people. They got enough scandals in the NFL every year that we can talk about if you choose to. It's just if you choose to. Players that get injured, players that retire, players that need to retire.
If we go through the scandals and see if there's anyone good enough, I'll put one up there.
I'm just saying it's just up there because anybody who has a fantasy.
I was gonna do like when I think about
anybody who has a fantasy football league
files, like
anybody who has anybody who has a fantasy football league is gonna want to know what happened last week. Because they're gonna know that they got to replace their player because he's not gonna be playing this week because of what happened in that traffic stop with that DUI or whatever. I'm just saying, it just we could talk about it if you want to. I'm just saying the football season, preseason started last week Thursday. Regular season starts September 5th. So if you ain't been paying attention to football, it's back. And for the rest of y'all, that's parents. School start in a few weeks. So I do believe the 3rd week of August. That Monday, you have to put your kid in school. So if you ain't bought uniform, we got some uniforms out there. If y'all selling uniforms, they got some on the Walmart store selling them. You can click the link and go buy some school clothes for your kids, school supplies, stuff like that. But kids is going back to school. So everybody that's a parent, you got a whole day of quiet because they taking their ass to school. You ain't got to feed them for lunch and all this shit. You just send them to school and get rid of their ass. Daytime babysitter. Which another reason why I don't know why kids get a chance to skip school and go back to their damn house. Like, no. My tax dollars is paying for them to babysit you till I get back. Take your ass to school. Like, if nothing else, you're their problem until 2:30. Like, go to school. So, just remember.
For the fans, make sure you go ahead and check out tomorrow. We're going to be talking about Shannon Sharp and people that are trying to cancel them. I'm not going to say names yet. You just have to.
Oh, you was already talking about him last week. You was talking about the 2 women that was trying to cancel him before.
Yeah, but you don't remember their names though.
Oprah and Tyler Perry.
God, well, I see what you did there. So
why Medea got to cancel Shannon Sharp? Why Medea got to cancel Shannon Sharp?
Yeah, for this one,
that's actually a good headline. Oprah and Medea team up against Shannon Sharp.
Yeah, they be tag teaming. They're gonna be tag teaming.
No, that's a good headline for the show because Oprah Winfrey and Medea team up against Shannon Sharp. 2 women in dresses team up against Shannon Sharp. Yeah. if that ain't part of the headline, I'm gonna make a short out of that.
Yeah. So this is This and That and Everything in Between. Make sure you like, subscribe, and leave a comment after the video. Also check out our stores both on Twitch and YouTube. If you join on YouTube, you get more discounts, especially if you join our membership. That goes from beta all the way to the Super Diamond Plus package. Yes, it's a
triple diamond platinum package is up there that we got all kinds of stuff up there for that one, but different tiers of discounts for different tiers of membership. Yes.
And next time when you guys come on, to make sure you hit those super likes. Hit the super likes right now. While we're talking, we give you good quality.
Shit, that was hell. Like, we need to be talking to these folks about this.
You should tell LBs to hey, thanks for the comments, but can you hit those super likes if you don't mind?
We need to start making some banners out of that. If you like what you hear, throw some super likes down.
Yeah,
super likes, super emotes, special thanks, donations to the platform.
Come on, show us your love. If you really truly like the platform, make sure you we're slowly growing, but we're still we're getting there. And like I said, I was gonna be bringing more about these topics about the presidency because this is important. You guys need to be informed and need to know. You can't be just walking amok, just saying, "Oh, it happens." Just like Xander said,
Yes.
You can't be saying that.
So you 21-year-olds that don't know what the fuck's going on, you should not be allowed to vote until you figure out what the fuck's going on, because you sitting over here talking about you voted Republican because you're Republican, and then when your ass ain't got no damn student loan money, you ain't got no grant money, and you ain't got no ability to pay your goddamn student loans back because you can't get no job because you don't have an IT degree, and the only people that's hired is engineers.
Excuses? You want to know
No, that's their fault, because they ain't trying to pay attention to what's going on.
So they said Trump is rich, so if I be a Republican and vote, he will make me rich.
Okay, hold up. If Trump is rich, if you are rich and you vote for Trump, you will stay rich. If you vote for Trump and you are not rich, Project 2025 says they're taxing the poor and giving extensive tax credits to the rich. Project 2025 says that if you're poor, you will not get government funding for any government services. You got to pay for that out of pocket. And you will not get local or state tax credits or deductions. You will not get tax credits on paying back your student loans, but you're obligated to pay back your student loans. And you will not get additional student loans to get a master's or PhD after you've gotten your bachelor's degree. So if you're poor and you can't afford to get an education, he's interfering with your ability to get an education. If you are poor and you have not figured out how to start up a big business, he is not helping you start up a big business. If you are poor and you need government assistance, he is doing away with the government assistance that you need. Because if you can't pay for it out of pocket, he's privatizing everything. If you can't pay for it out of pocket, your poor ass is not going to have shit. Now, if you believe that you will be rich by association, because the 99% of poor folk in America, or at least the 74% of Americans that are below 100,000 a year, if you believe that you voting for a 1%er will make you a 1%er by association, I just want to remind you that you voted for this 1%er in 2017. And if you are not a 1%er by association between 2017 and 2024, your ass will not be a 1%er between 2025 and 2029 because you vote for it. If you're struggling now, you're going to be struggling even more after you vote for this 1%er. That's what I'm saying. Now, take that for what you will. I ain't telling you to vote for him. I ain't telling you not to vote for him. I'm just telling you that you cannot say that you are going to be rich by association unless you got a contract from that rich person that says that if you vote for me, electoral voters, I will pay you royalties. Unless you got that, you voting for him is not going to benefit you if you broke, if you financially challenged, if you're not making $168,000 a year, if you don't have a C corporation with your name on it that is making money. He is not doing this for you. If you are not one of those three, he is not doing it for you. That's all we have, because I know Mr. Pibbs is starving. I really appreciate you guys. And first, we're going to sign off for TikTok. Thank you, guys. Ladies, I'm going to keep saying this. As long as the situation doesn't make sense, ladies, I'm going to keep asking y'all to make it make sense. So, ladies, make it make sense.